All right, let's get to it. Time for a little football on a Wednesday. What are we doing? College, pro, both? What story, David?
Pro.
Okay, hit it.
So we have passed the first quarter of the NFL football season. We now have our first buys coming up.
Where did it
this
go?
week. I don't know.
Where did it go? Felt like yesterday we were opening the season up against the Chiefs. We're through the first quarter of the year.
How about this? You're almost halfway done with college football.
Yeah, that's I don't.
Shut your whore mouth.
So let's get into some things here. Let's get into the first biggest disappointment so far this season, whether it's a coach, team, player, or all three, if you have it.
As a team, it would be the Chargers, because even when they win, they lose. Biggest disappointment as a player would be Justin Fields, because I never imagined this type of free fall. Those would be the two for me.
Biggest disappointment as a team, Cincinnati Bengals.
That's fair. That's actually really good.
Thought that they were going to be one of the teams that competed with the Chiefs, and player is Burrow. He's injured, but I think the Bengals have handled it all wrong. Probably should have sat him for the first couple of games, knowing a healthy Burrow is better. You're not going to get the home field advantage, but you're not going to be looking the way you look now.
So then what would be the biggest surprise so far this season?
Wow. I want to use surprise as positive, not negative. Maybe the Commanders would fit the bill for me. They've actually, with Sam Howell, looked like, okay, they've got a real shot to do something here, to make the playoffs. But I would say the Miami Dolphins being what they've been. There's a difference between being a good offense and maybe making history. So I would say those two for me.
Biggest surprise, I don't know if this is for positive. I don't know if it's for real or not, but you look at the Bucs. I didn't expect them to be 3-1. I thought that they would just kind of fall off the face of the earth. They're good. And player, I know what you're going to say, but the fact that Purdy is still doing it. Yeah, Brock Purdy.
To go back to disappointment, and I thought one of you would mention it, the Jacksonville Jags.
It's very fair. And look, they get Cam Robinson back. They got to get the O-line in order. They're a mess. They're a mess. They're not taking the step forward that, well, frankly, the Lions are. Trevor Lawrence isn't taking that step forward, and it begins and ends up front. That offensive line is a disaster thus far.
And I'm going to use surprise as a negative. It's got to be the New England Patriots. I didn't think.
Are you really surprised?
I am. They're this bad. They've only scored 55 points.
Where you been the last couple of years?
I didn't think they were going to do that.
Bigger surprise in a bad way. The Patriots or the Giants?
I expected the Giants to take a fall, though.
Yeah, but to be outscored at home 73-9 in first halves? You know there are certain things here.
They were once a playoff team last year. Now they look absolutely awful.
I would
say just hate to see it.
Yeah, I would say the Giants because I expected the Patriots to be bad.
Okay.
Yeah. It's like saying the Jets are a surprise. No, they're not.
Right,
I knew
exactly.
They were going to be bad.
Quarterback gets injured, you can't really put them in that category. So far through the first quarter of the season, what do you think the best and the worst division is so far? You got 2-2 teams all over the AFC South. I mean, you got a 3-1, 4-0 Eagles.
I can't believe I'm saying this. It's probably the NFC East because the Commanders, the Cowboys, and Eagles all are pretty clearly good. How many other divisions have three good teams?
You know what? I'm going to go with the West because I didn't see the Rams being competitive. I kind of thought that they were at the end of their line.
Is Puka Nakua's hair real? Because it's majestic.
At this point, I'm just wondering, is he real? Because
it's like
he came out of a Disney movie.
He looks like Aquaman.
And he has like a Disney name. Like, okay, like where did this guy come from?
BYU. He's 32, father of three.
Right, but all of a sudden he's rejuvenating Matthew Stafford's career.
He's awesome. It's unbelievable.
And now all of a sudden, Donald is playing like he's went back in time.
Like, but see, the Puka Nacua thing, he was ripping up OTAs in camp. Yeah. You know all the reports we never got about J-Mo? Yeah, those were about Puka Nacua. He started week 1, and all he's done is rewrite the record books.
Yeah. And then you also got the Seahawks, who seem like they want to keep going. I thought maybe they were a flash in the pan that last year.
So you talk about Puka Nacua or whatever his name is. That leads me to the next question. Right now, what would be the offensive rookie of the year? Would you put him as offensive rookie of the year?
You would have to. David, through 4 games, he has rewritten history. Now, do I think by the end of the year he's going to catch 120 balls? No. Do I think that the cream will rise and you will get, Bijan or someone else? Probably. But right here, right now, quarter pole. How could I not? Plus, elite lettuce. Have you seen him with his helmet off? He looks almost like Jesus.
I'm going to go with C.J. Stroud.
Oh, damn.
The fact that...
Oh, damn. Rico's going to be right because it's a quarterback, and it always goes to a quarterback.
Well, right now, it can all change,
No. But the fact he's looking really good for the Texans, where he doesn't have that learning curve. Like, we're still waiting for Fields to kind of do the stuff that CJ's doing in 4 games. Fields has been around for a while.
So through the quarter poll, we have no wins for the Bears. We have no wins in Carolina.
Dude, I figured out, hold on. I figured out who Puka Nacua's doppelganger is. Billy from Roadhouse. He looks just, he was one of the main henchmen for Brad Wesley. He wore the jean jacket and jean reset when Swayze killed him in the river.
That guy.
That's Puka
Nacua. Broke the pool stick and was like, come on, and started doing the
right. He's like,
I've been watching Roadhouse, so yes. Like, yeah, come on.
That's right. That's Puka. All right, sorry.
He resurrected from the river.
I don't know. It's great.
They are not firing their coach in Carolina. He just got there. But who will be the first coach?
Eberflus. Eberflus, if they lose to the Commanders Thursday night, will be fired Friday morning. And you just hate to see it.
Yeah, the short week is the only reason he didn't get fired this week.
David, you are as intelligent as you are self-righteous.
Yeah, you may be right.
He gone.
I mean, that whole organization.
You want to take a swing at something else? Could it be a McDaniels? Could it be, well, actually, Mark Davis fighting with fans in the crowd. Did you see that? They were yelling at the owner to fire McDaniels. You got the owner yelling at fans. I mean, Mark, do yourself solid. Go back into the suite, close the door. That's not a good look for you.
Yeah.
Then again, you rocked a bowl cut for 20 years.
Can you fire a coach that's 2-2?
I could do whatever I want. I would have already fired Brandon Staley.
He's trying.
He is trying.
They didn't win those first 2 games because of him.
No. I mean, Staley wants to be fired, but he just, I don't think it's happening. Herbert is like, I got you again, dog. Don't worry about it. I got you.
So he's Uncle Lenny. Go ahead.
So the award that everyone cares about right now through 4 games, who would your MVP be?
I'm real,
Say it.
No, I was going to advocate potentially for McCaffrey. I mean, he's splendid. He's unbelievable to watch. That's the only reason Brock Purdy functions. So I would
no love.
I would give a nod to McCaffrey, and in the AFC, after the weekend he just had, along with the team's really good. Would Josh Allen garner some interest?
I can see that. I mean, he turned heads and going out there and not just beating the Dolphins. He destroyed them. It was personal. You could tell, you guys put up 70, but you're not doing that against us. But, for me, it is McCaffrey. The touchdowns, he is such an integral part of that team. And they were 3-4 when they first got him, and they've just rolled off victory after victory since.
Here's Allen through 4 games, and I'll do the McCaffrey comp for you as well. Allen 3-1, so team's winning. 75% completion rate. He's got almost 1,100 yards passing, 9 touchdowns. It's the 4 picks that would be the knock.
3 was in week 1.
Right, and it was just that outer space Allen thing. Ever since. Look, if you finish this year throwing for 4,500 yards, 40 touchdowns, cuts the picks down, and you're completing 70% of your passes, you're talking MVP. You want McCaffrey? Is that what you're looking for? Yeah. Let me take care of that for you.
You know what? Give me Purdy.
When did you meet Will Smith?
Purdy.
All right, here you go. McCaffrey through to 4 games, 80 carries, 459 yards, and almost 6 yards a carry. Privileged. 6 touchdowns. What do we got on the receiving front here? Hold on, boys.
I know he's got at least one. He got one
I got
last.
12, 15, 18 catches for 148 yards plus a touchdown. I mean, he's got basically 100 touches, 700 yards, 7 or 8 TDs, and he's on the best team in football. It warrants.
Can you give me Purdy?
Oh, my gosh.
Jesus, Mary and Joseph. I thought Roberto was the needy one.
He's in the top of some of the most important categories. I looked at it earlier.
What's he in the top of? Living in privilege?
I just need to hear Mike say it.
Brock Purdy. Kill me. 72% completion rate, 1,000 yards, 5 touchdowns, no picks. Great. He's J.J. McCarthy of the NFL.
Exactly. That is.
Must be nice.
Did he get to kiss his girlfriend in the fourth quarter?
On the field. That is in football today.
All right, so here's the deal. We mentioned my team once in that segment because they're an absolute dumpster fire. How does that relate to pizza? It's simple. The only way you could survive watching the Giants or your team be terrible, order a pizza from Hungry Howies. Know that you're not only coping with a nice slice of pizza, but you're helping somebody. Month of October, they're raising $5 million for the National Breast Cancer Foundation, and they're doing it because a portion of every pizza you buy, a portion of those proceeds goes right to charity. So, you know what? Cope with your feelings. Have some sad pizza. It worked for Urban Meyer on a golf cart. It could work for you. It's Hungry Howie's, the month of giving, National Breast Cancer Foundation, $5 million goal. Let's crush it. Order some damn pizza. It's Hungry Howie's. All right, let's get to work. It's a Tuesday. It's October. It's 85 degrees out. And I have no football to watch. All right, Rico, we can start a multitude of ways. We're going to get to University of Michigan a little bit later. Let's burn it down before we build it up, I guess. Lions, a little bit after that. You have things you want to say about Saturday. I want to hit the fan portal. I can't do this the rest of the fall. Yeah. As a Spartans and Giants fan, if I can't continue to do this flaccid penis offense that we watch constantly. 60 minutes on Saturday, 60 minutes on Sunday. Nobody can block a soul. Nobody can throw the ball. Nobody can do anything. Clown car effort, arguments on the sidelines, teams that look like they're on Quaaludes. I want to hit the fan portal. But see, you have something else you want to say today. No. And you won't share. No. So I said, fine. I'll sit here and just let you go ahead. Go ahead and shoot.
This team it's 4 games, and none of us are going crazy about it, right? But it's amazing how remarkably consistent this team is.
Mm-hmm.
They're a top 10 passing team. They're a top 10 rushing team. They're a top 10 offensive team in terms of yards total. Like everything is just like consistent. They are, I think, 8th in the NFL in scoring. That's just all offensive numbers. And then defensively, they're number 1 against the run, which is crazy talk. Right. They're getting all this amazing pressure on the quarterback. Their points per game is right about where it was when they were 8-2 down the stretch. I think it was.
All right, we're going to get to the Lions here at the quarter pole in about 10 minutes,
which ranks
MSU
more towards the middle of the league.
At 4. We'll have some fun.
So
because here's my reminder to you:
can be improved upon.
Talking about a process that's
consistent.
Really
this is what you. This is how you become.
Talking about a process that's only in the most formative of stages, where you haven't even.
No, is it like the system that's not a system that is a system?
No, this is like
the process that ain't a process. That
yeah, it's just. I love how people are putting all these lists out, and these lists don't emanate from anyone making any decisions. These lists are people throwing darts. Schlepping for a client or an agent.
I was about to say the agent made a call.
Like,
hey, can you get my client's name out there?
It's so silly. Now, if you want to talk dream sequences, well, that's a different topic. But everyone's like, well, who's your candidate? Well, I don't have one. I mean, I have names. They're just none of your business because it's not relevant on October 4th. It's not. But Rico has something that makes it an interesting conversation, and we'll do it at 4 o'clock. So Lions next, and that at 4. David, a couple ticket texts, and then we go on the board. Nice day yesterday to baby snakes. It was a delight. I will tell you, I never realized the things you could bet on in baseball. Do you realize you could bet on the velocity of the next pitch?
You serious?
Dead serious. I was utterly mortified.
Call the number.
David, literally, it was first pitch of next inning, over under 92.59 miles an hour. I'm like, wait, that's a thing?
That's right up there with the coin toss.
Oh, dude, please. Now, I will tell you something I did. You guys are I'm hanging out with you guys too much. The in-game player stuff is fascinating. So, like an example, I'm a huge Corbin Carroll slap bleep. Love him. You could bet when Carroll was coming up in the 9th inning, you could bet next at bat outcome. Single was plus 500. Any extra base hit was plus 1,100. Home run was plus 2,000. And then any other outcome, walk, strikeout, fly out, whatever it was like, I think it was plus 145, something like that. Or minus, whatever it was.
I got to hang out. I didn't know that you could do it because normally, like, the hit stuff is at the beginning of the game and then you're done.
Well, I didn't do it. It was more a learning experiment. I don't go to that place. I pick sides and totals, and that's what I do on the podcast. But here's what was interesting. So last night with Arizona, I did a parlay and I did the math in my mind. I really believed Arizona was winning that game last night. Corbin Burns had been up and down. And I like the baby snakes. They don't feel any pressure. They're young. They're exciting. So I said, all right, plus 165. I took them to win the game. And then I did one parlay at one amount with Corbin Carroll stealing a base or more. And then I did the other at a different amount for Carroll not to steal a base. But what I needed was Arizona to win. I had it both ways. So when Carroll took off, yes, I would have lost the one. It went under review, but no. I wanted him to steal the base.
Right.
Because that one, him stealing a bag last night was plus 220. So the point is, I played it last night. It was very fun to watch a game, and you need that very specific thing. Like, I know you guys love your anytime touchdown ones, and I know the people do. It's just not something I've done with Cash the Ticket, but man, it is wild, the crap. I worry for people. I do. They can get themselves in some ish.
Oh, you can't.
They could get themselves in some real problems here.
I think anytime touchdown has become the evolution of fantasy football.
Yeah, it has.
Where you always wanted your guy to score. Well, now you can just make money when he scores. Like, imagine, like if you had McCaffrey and 4 touchdowns, that was probably at like plus 10,000.
Well, and I started thinking about if you're a Michigan fan, the only way to stay entertained in some of these games would be to do
Blake Corum, 2 touchdowns.
Yeah, you do some stuff.
I will admit, Blake Corum has made me money. Blake Corum to hit 2 touchdowns.
Oh, Michigan's going to make me a lot of money.
No, but Corum.
I'm going to bet the farm on U of M to behead Michigan State. When I picked a money line to beat OSU 2 years ago, and not only did I beat the book, I took TJ's money. I'll let my enemy make me money. It's the only coping mechanism I can have to their success.
But Corum is like Jalen Hurts. It's like Christian McCaffrey, who scored in every game now, I think 14 straight games. He's scored a touchdown in. Just take them. As you would say, it's like vitamins.
Take the points. Let's go on the board, though, because I do have something I want to put out there. I will tell you straight away, I am not picking a Wednesday night Conference USA game. I am not doing that. So if you're tuning in for Jacksonville State, Middle Tennessee, it's not happening.
I got it. I got you covered for that.
I'm disgusted by you. Let me offer you, I want to put this pick out there because I feel like this thing could get to 7. And you know what I'm going to say to you. Hook 'em. First pick of the week. Texas laying 6.5 to Oklahoma. Oklahoma has not faced a team with a top 70 offense. Oklahoma has played absolutely no one. Oklahoma was in a 14-11 game with about 6 minutes to go against SMU a few weeks ago.
You don't worry about the rivalry factor and try hard guy?
Nope.
Because that game just always seems like it's way closer.
Texas is back. Okay. They are a wagon. I'm just
at the end of the night, the Sooners aren't doing this?
I don't think so.
Okay.
I don't think they have the front. I don't think they have the quarterback. Look, Dylan Gabriel's a nice player, but he doesn't have much big game experience. Quinn Ewers, make fun of him if you like. He's seasoned. I really like Texas in this game. Put that there because I'll tell you, they're going to have to move that number to 7 soon.
Okay. Well.
Now you're picking a Wednesday night football game.
Yes.
I hate you. This is gross. What is
Well, I was going to ask you, Mike, why is Middle Tennessee favored over Jacksonville State? Middle Tennessee only has 1 victory this year, but Jacksonville State is 4-1. But
first year in FBS. You have, if you forced me to pick the game, I would take Jacksonville State. Okay. Rich Rod, by the way. That's where Rich Rod's coaching. But I would take Jacksonville State because Middle Tennessee State is vomit. They're horrific in every analytic. They're awful. You have the right idea, and you're getting a field goal. I'm not mad, but I'm also...
Oh, no, I'm not taking that. I was just
I
asking.
am never going to greenlight such a thing. That's a disgrace.
I'm thinking that this game's probably going to put up some points. I'm going to take wide receiver from Middle Tennessee, Elijah Metcalf, anytime touchdown at plus 145.
Oh, boy. All right. Hi, my name is Rico, and I have a problem, buddy. An anytime touchdown in a Middle Tennessee State game tonight.
On a Wednesday night.
All right, hey, Kenny.
The Fighting Giddy Pots.
That feeling that came over you is you bouncing off the bottom of the chili pot. Bang! All right.
Fighting Giddies.
Go ahead.
I was going to feel bad about my pick, but after hearing an anytime touchdown in a Middle Tennessee State
Somebody's got to score tonight.
No shame.
You know what? I feel a lot better. Minnesota had that streak, the Twins, of having the longest playoff losses of all those. I think it was 18 games in a row they lost until yesterday where they beat the Blue Jays. What are the chances they win twice in a row? Not very great. So I'm going to take the Jays plus. Hey, it's better than Rico's. Plus 126.
I sound like the mom in Christmas Story.
You do that and you parlay it with a Bo Bichette hit, plus 150.
How about we parlays are together?
Okay, but hold on. You're starting Berrios today.
They're starting Sonny Gray. He's not great either.
No. My point is Berrios is the ultimate roller coaster. He's either going to give up 10 earned and get 1 out, or he's going to look unhittable. Kenny, I am terrified of your selection.
Everyone ignore what Kenny just said. He is a Blue Jays fan. He is betting with his heart.
Yeah, I don't like that
Not
selection.
with his mind.
I'm betting with my mind.
Yeah, okay. Now,
Right, and you've
from
lost
the
it.
man who gave us the breakdown of the WNBA.
oh, they start very soon in the WNBA finals. I'll get to that
Can
another
hardly
day.
wait.
I'm going to go plus 6.5 Louisville over Notre Dame. Notre Dame's back-to-back ACC road games. I don't think they probably win the game, but they got to get up to win by more. Come on.
No, David, you're on to something. You can't ask a team to play their A-plus game 3 weeks in a row. Big game against OSU. Big national TV night game against Duke. Now you play a little sleepy spot against Louisville. That place will be rocking. Louisville's got about 50 transfers. It's a whole new team. I think they're 4-0 or 4-1.
No longer Papa John's field, right?
No.
I probably was a good idea to take that down. It's now known as Stadium. Thank God they took that down. What is it called after Papa John's horrific remarks? What is Louisville's home field?
Home of Lamar Jackson.
I was in Louisville earlier this summer too, and I just didn't. I drove right by it. I didn't even look. What is it?
L&N Federal Credit Union Stadium.
That's got a real ring to it.
Rolls right off the tongue.
Well, it sure did for Papa John. Isn't that the truth? All right. That's enough.
He's hanging out with Paula Dean.
Rico, call the number. That's on the board. All right, FanDuel. And if you're like Rico and you're in a race to the bottom, they can offer you an anytime touchdown from the Fighting Stock Skills, the Middle Tennessee State Blue Raiders. But NFL football Thursday night, they've got the no sweat same game parlay. Commanders, Bears, bet a parlay of at least 3 legs. Fall short, you get the bonus bets back. It's FanDuel.com/ticket. That's FanDuel.com/ticket. FanDuel, official sports betting partner of the NFL, 21 and up, present Michigan. Refund issued. Now withdrawable bonus bets that expire 7 days after receipt. Max refund, $5, unless otherwise specified. Restrictions apply. See terms. Sportsbook.fanduel.com. Gambling problem 1-800-270-7117.
Obviously, we know on any given Sunday anybody can win.
Yeah.
San Francisco, Lions better than them?
No.
Not yet. No.
Philly.
I would say as good. Can I say as good?
Yeah, you can say
Yeah.
whatever you want.
Yeah,
It's your mouth.
I would say slightly below right now. Slightly.
Buffalo.
Gosh, that's
Gosh,
I mean, honestly, I would say as
good.
good.
Yeah.
If it was a home game, I'd take the Lions. If it was
Okay.
there, I'd take Buffalo.
All right. Now, this one, they obviously beat them, but Kansas City. Now, if they had the Kelsey-Chris Jones equation, but
Oh, so you're going with the
I'm not saying it's an asterisk, but we're looking at them right now.
What, did you have dinner with Tirico the other
No,
day?
I'd say
we're
right now, yeah.
Sorry,
They
Mike.
are.
Okay.
You didn't say that about Philly, but you said about
I said the Eagles. I said Jalen Hurts aren't playing that good. Isn't playing that well.
he always shows his true colors.
No. Miami.
Brought to you by Cars for Kids. This is an off day for the Lions. They're working to get healthy ahead of Sunday's game against Carolina. Despite that loss last year in Charlotte, head coach Dan Campbell does not consider this a revenge game. Campbell talked to Stoney and Jansen this morning. To the injury news now, Amon-Ra St. Brown and Brian Branch both missed practice yesterday. The good news, though, Taylor Decker, Vaitai, Kirby Joseph, Emmanuel Mosley, Julian Aquara, and Jamison Williams all practiced. Detroit now a 9.5-point favorite over the Panthers on Sunday. The Red Wings play their second of 3 straight preseason games tonight in Pittsburgh. Robbie Fabry will return from an upper body injury, and all the regulars will suit up as well. Puck drop at 7. The pregame show at 6:45 with Jeff Rieger right on 97.1. And the wild card round continues today in baseball. The Rangers look to knock out the Rays right now at 3 o'clock. The Twins will try to do the same to the Blue Jays at 4:30. And then the late games are D-backs Brewers and Phillies Marlins. At the Ticket Update Desk, I'm Luke Sloan. For more, visit 97.1 The Ticket or Odyssey.com.
Nothing like a little Donald Sterling to get your Wednesday going. Let's talk some football, shall we? We're at the quarter pole. I don't think anyone out there could call the opening 4 games for the Lions anything other than a success. Now, if you want to debate, well, an A+ would have been 4-0, you do whatever you like. I don't even want to go there. If you told me at the start of the year they'd be 3-1 after 4 games, and I don't get to pick who the wins and losses are, would I sign that document? Yes. If you tell me they go 3-1 their next 4 without knowing even who they beat, would I sign it? Yes. It's a success.
Yep.
But here's my question. Yesterday we had the conversation regarding Michigan, and who you play is one thing and how you play is another. It's the same thing in the NFL to an extent. I want to know what the 3-1 qualifies them as. Are the Lions at the quarter pole right now one of the 10 best teams in football? Are they one of the 8 best teams in football? Or are they in the rarefied air of being a top 5 team? If you don't think they're top 5, top 8, top 10, what are they? What would they need to do to get there? If you do think they are, tell me what the driving force of it has been. Like, I know for me, it's established now. This is something we get to hang our hat on moving forward. You're not going to run the football in the Lions. You're not going to do it. And there'll always be an outlier. Something weird will happen, some outer space game. But generally speaking, we are going on a year and a half of you're not going to run the ball on us. And that, coupled with running the football, I think it makes you one of the top 5 teams in football, top 8 teams in football. They're for certain top 10. Yeah. Now, if I say Frisco and I say Dallas, or I say Frisco and Philly, okay, those are my NFL. Let's say Philly and San Francisco are the top 2 in the NFC. I've always told you you're the next team. There's the 3. All right, so then how many teams do I got to find in the AFC that are objectively better than you? Now, remember, if Buffalo came here this Sunday at Ford Field, I'd pick you to win.
Really?
I'm the same nutbag who picked you to win in Kansas City.
Dolphins?
That scares me. No, if Jerry Jacobs is out there, that scares me.
Now, here's the thing. I like where you're going with this because I feel the same way. I do think that they are the 3rd, and you could possibly make a case that they're the 2nd best team. The Eagles are 4-0, but the Eagles, kind of like the Chiefs, don't look the same. They're winning, but they're not It doesn't feel like they're out there dominating their teams. Now, I guess the caveat to your ranking, Mike, is wouldn't you then have to put Seattle ahead of them? Because Seattle actually beat them.
It is why I am offering this to you.
But they're top 10.
Yeah. I think they're top 8. You think they're top 10? Let's have
Oh,
some
no.
fun.
I would put them top 7, top 8. Yeah, they're in there.
Okay. So let's get to it. 248-539-9797. I think they're a top 8 team in the NFL. And I can't put many teams above you that unequivocally you couldn't beat. I really just feel like it's okay to accept that while you're not towering above anybody, you're in a damn street fight. You're in the ring with these teams. You know, do I think if you had to go to San Francisco to play that you'd win? No, I don't. But if San Francisco came here, could I find a pathway? Yeah. I don't think they're unbeatable. I don't think San Francisco's impossible. I think it's a big task. The Eagles are the same thing. When you get to a point where the home field starts to dictate who you select, that means you're in the mix with those teams.
See, the Eagles, I think, are the Achilles heel, similar to the same reason why the Seattle team can do it, because you can stop the run, but a mobile QB can pick up those extra yards. So for the Eagles, you got Hurts and Swift back there. I don't think you can stop both. That's the only thing that bothers me. It's like, especially like when they go to play the Ravens and you got to go up against Lamar. That's the only thing that this defense can handle is containing that mobile QB on third down. Now, that's a good one. I'm not talking Desmond Ridder. But I look at this, and there's not too many teams. You could even make a case that this is a top 5 team. You could, because they're winning on offense, but it's the defense that is so dominant, just not letting you get it. And they don't have their full complement of defensive players either. So you're slowly still getting guys back, so that defense can only get better. Yeah, they're top 8 loosely, but you could make a case that this is a top 5 team. And not just the NFC, I'm talking total NFL.
248-539-9797. David, quarter poll. Lions are 3-1. Top 10, top 8, top 5.
I think I can argue top 5. They already beat the Chiefs, so they're ahead of them in my mind. Miami scares me as well, but I think they are better than Buffalo. They're not better than the 49ers. And with Rico, what you said about the Eagles, I get why you would say they're better than the Eagles. I think they're better than the Eagles, but the Achilles heel is what you think about with them.
Hurts, yeah.
And that may not, put them over the Eagles, but I think they're a top 5 team in the NFL now.
So where do you put Seattle then? Because you beat the Chiefs, and we're using that as a caveat. Well, you beat the Chiefs. Well, they beat you. So that means they're better than you?
That's a real good question. Oh, man, it's tough for me to say that the Seahawks are better, but they beat them. So I guess top 6 is what I'll say. Top 6.
Look, here's the other thing. You could play a team on a given day. And, I mean, you're not going to like how I say it. I mean, you can play a team on a given day, but you walk away with the belief you're still better, right? Mm-hmm. Ask Michigan fans. They'll go to their grave believing they were better than State in 21. Case in point. So the idea is if you play Seattle 10 times, do you think it'd be 5-5? Do you think it'd be 6-4? If you're close, I got no problem with you ranking. Look, you fumbled out of halftime. You threw the pick 6. You really gave the game away. I think you're better than Seattle. I think if you played them Sunday, you'd win. I'm comfortable saying that in this league, it'd be Eagles, Niners. If you wanted to say the Bills, if you wanted to say the Chiefs, even though you beat the Chiefs, I'm saying, there's not many teams I put just objectively above the Lions. I could make the case, and you're telling me it's BOGO. You're telling me they're going to win this weekend too.
Yeah.
I could make the case if you wanted to put the Lions at number 5 in the entire league, I'd be okay with it. I could make the case. I'm not going to go to my grave with that.
No, and you're the gambling guy, Mike. The league is telling you this is BOGO. I told you a while ago.
I know.
You're 10-point favorites.
9.5.
Carolina's coming in here. Bryce Young is looking all of a rookie quarterback.
Not great.
This thing should be over quickly and just dismantle it. Kind of like when Jacksonville came last year.
This is all about your professionalism. Come out, be professional, put a bullet in this team, and away you go. I agree.
That's what the upper tier teams do. You don't let them hang around because when you do, then you're the Cowboys losing to the Cardinals. You had no business losing to them.
Yeah, I'll be honest with you. In the National Football League, if I took Bills, Dolphins, Chiefs, Niners, Philly, that's 5 teams. The Lions are right there with those 5.
Yeah.
I could make a case you're team 5.
Well, the reason why I said 7 is because similar to how you said Michigan thought that they were the better team even though they lost, Seattle has beat you the exact same way almost for the last 2 years. So maybe you just know how to beat Detroit. And you've done both games here, not on the road. So there's really, what else do they have to do?
No, it's totally fair.
That's why I think 7. They're
like
right there.
You lost the game. You're right. I mean, last year your defense wasn't ready. You threw the pick 6. This year, I really feel you were the better team. That's okay. I mean, that's why the games are played. But I would love to know where people are at. We're at the quarter pole. I don't know anyone who doesn't think they're a top 10 team. I think some people would say top 8. I think optimistically, they're probably not quite there, but I could at least make the case without getting laughed out of a bar. They're number 5 in the league. 248-539-9797. We'll get your calls. Take care of some business. 97.1. Moran Buick GMC this fall. The Buick Enclave might save you. If you're carting the kids around all the youth sports, fits up to 7, does it right. Maybe the GMC Sierra 1500 elevation 4x4, $277 a month. They got them all. They got stock arriving daily, and they're ready to get you into a beautiful new vehicle. It's MoranExpress.com. Bring your vehicle in for that certified service. Get the free loaner vehicle as well. MoranExpress.com. Scheduling is always fast. Scheduling is always easy. It's on Telegraph, just north of Eureka and Taylor, or at MoranExpress.com. It's Moran Buick GMC. We are professional grade. Hey, we're going to get to your phone calls in a second, but Rico's just got the latest and greatest from the NCAA. I'm sure Michigan fans are going to lose their mind here because, again, no one's ever said we like the NCAA. No one's ever said we think they do things appropriately. We've just said your coach baited them into doing what they did to you. But believe me, we'll take your side on this. This is evidence A, B, C, D, E, F, G, L, M, N, O, P. I mean, this is as bad as it gets by the NCAA for stupidity. Rico, before we get to the callers.
Well, I know this is a topic that a lot of coaches and a lot of people are really concerned about with the whole concussion. No, not that. The NCAA has voted to ban photo shoots. So athletes going to campus can no longer take the photos with the coaches or with extraneous things, the cars, the turnover chain, the chainsaw, none of that stuff. They are banning this because that's what America wanted.
We don't want to see Brian Kelly gyrating, yelling family. I just, of all the problems in your sport currently, this is what we've chosen to fix.
Right.
Well, thank God. I, for one, thought this was a massive problem. I was calling for this change for the longest time.
Kenny, apparently there were coaches and administrators that did not like the fact that they had to do their job and keep up with the Joneses. They just wanted it simple. You come here, you have your meal, you take a tour of campus, and then you just commit to it.
Wow.
Yeah. Can't make this stuff up.
I don't want to have to hire a photographer. What are we doing here?
But a parent can take one with their kid, but the kid, you can't have like the whole setup. Like when Tuck had all the cars out, that you can't do that anymore. Yeah.
Shame one of those cars didn't just, lurch forward and take him out.
What if the kids supply this?
Saved us all the embarrassment from that con artist. Sorry. What?
I said, what if the kids supply the setup?
No. Kenny, stop making sense. Just let it go. Just let it go.
I'm just really
right. So here's the thing. Georgia puts out the back-to-back national title trophies. Kid can't stand in the middle of those with Kirby Smart. That's now illegal.
Well, that's going to kill our recruiting.
Just saying.
No more 5 stars for us.
248-539-9797.
Bowling Green.
The NCAA, man. Wow. Go to Luke, 97.1. What's up, Luke?
Hey, Mike, Rico, how's it going?
Good, buddy. What's on your mind?
Hey, I called a couple weeks ago. I've taken the finger off the panic button, okay?
Mm-hmm.
I'm looking at the Lions, man. I'm calling them top 5, but, and I was listening to Rico. He was saying the way the defense been playing, it's playing good, and they have been. But I got to see it one more time, man. They got to take care of their business Sunday. They got to zombie stomp the Panthers, and we need to move on here.
Hey, Luke,
I'm not concerned about the offense. Yep.
Check. That's all happening this Sunday, my friend.
I hope so, man. The offense isn't a concern. It's just that defense, man. It's a slippery slope.
That's Bryce Young. That defense is going to put up phenomenal numbers. As a matter of fact, they're going to pad their stats. They're going to end up being even better defense statistically when that game's over.
I hope so. I hope you're right, man.
Same. But again, there's always work to be done. It's just an at the quarter pole question. It's a success. You got 2 big road wins at Kansas City, at Green Bay. You demolished Green Bay. The Seattle game, it looks like it. There's no such thing as a good loss, but it's not a bad one. Right. It's not embarrassing. Seattle might be good.
Yeah, you lost to a playoff team.
Right, and you've taken care of your business. And I think it's very clear to anyone watching, you're clearly the best team in the North. Clearly. Mm-hmm. It's why I've said the games against Minnesota aren't going to matter. You will have it clinched by the time Kenny hits the bong for Christmas Eve. You'll be all set.
You may be right on this one, my friend.
It's going to happen. I just wish other things could happen with Michigan State.
You never know. Barring, like I said, the only thing that can derail their season is injuries. That's it. Other than that, you're on a roll. And you showed me last week how much better you are than the Packers.
That's right. And now the Packers got to come here. On a short week. You just hate to see it. Let's go to DJ 97.1. What's up, DJ?
What up, though?
DJ, I have to tell you, I heard you on another day part, and it was, I didn't know how to feel about it.
Felt
I
like
go,
he was cheating.
I thought DJ was our caller, and then I hear you gallivanting with the mornings. I'm like, wow. Will you listen to this guy? What's up, man?
Man, you know you my dog, but I will say, y'all show, I would dare to say, is probably the most popular in this era. So it's hard to get through to y'all. That's fair. It literally most days it'd be an hour and a half. So
that's
plus,
fair.
I call in most of the Doug and Carr because they cool too. But it's easier; they're more accessible. Not being funny, it's easier to get to them.
That's fair.
That's why.
I'll take it.
Yeah. So look, let's ride with this, man. So I definitely think that we're top 10. But here's the thing that scares me, and I said this on another show. Seattle seems to have our number, and that bothers me because what they do with their play action and blah, blah, blah is like the kryptonite to what we do defensively. My fear is that Carolina, although the rookie quarterback and blah, 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 they were our one kryptonite game because they literally smack people in the mouth how we like to smack people in the mouth, and that's how they beat us. So that kind of has me just a little worried that maybe what they do may be our kryptonite too.
No, because DJ, Carolina was desperate. Last year, when they played the Lions, both teams were trying to get that last spot. So Carolina was a little more hungrier, and you saw it in that game. And I think the Lions relaxed and said, oh, Carolina Panthers, well, they only have a mathematical shot at it. Well, they took their shot, and they went out there and destroyed you. That's not the same team. This team.
So I'll give you.
Yeah, bad. This team should not worry any Lions fan because Bryce Young – I mean, I would feel more nervous if it were the Texans and C.J. Stroud, but Bryce is just really looking like things are moving too fast for him.
I agree with that, but I'll give you guys this: aren't they? They're winless, right?
Yep. Yes.
So who's going to try harder than a winless team? I mean, really, they want to get their first win. That's just throwing it back.
No, and DJ, I agree with you completely. I'm not doing what Rico's doing. I love where he's at. I love that he's going, 38-10 final. I don't care if they win by 1 or 100. Win the game. There's no excuse if you're who we think you are. I don't care about effort. Yours should never be in question. You cannot allow Carolina to come here and win.
And you won't.
That's it. So, I don't know if it'll be a beauty pageant. The NFL, it never is. It never is. But just win and just survive in advance.
Look, I'm not saying it's going to be like Dolphins Broncos, but this thing the game shouldn't be in doubt. Maybe try hard guy in the fourth quarter makes it a little close.
By the way, I thought this was a very nice tip of the cap from Rico's friends at the networks. Did you see the Lions and Bucks has been flexed? Mm-hmm. You're now America's Game of the Week at 425. See?
Media markets.
No, but it matters. It does anytime. Listen, you should enjoy the ride. Now you're going to be 425 primo.
Right. You went from every game, hors d'oeuvres, 1 o'clock.
That's right.
Because you've gone on national TV and you've won games and you've won and you're entertaining and
you've done your
fun
job
to watch. It's not, it's like the Ravens. You got Lamar, but the Ravens aren't that fun to watch. They're painful. They win games, but it's like, okay. But you go out there.
I was told he's the best quarterback on the planet.
He's a good quarterback.
Excuse me.
But the team is just like.
But he doesn't have weapons.
The Steelers, when they win, David, they're not entertaining. They win.
When do they win?
They used to win.
Okay.
When they used to win, they would, first team to 20.
I don't know.
But the Lions.
They seem to beat the Raiders and spoil my perfect week 2 weeks ago.
Oh, I'm sorry about that.
But I mean, even the fact you got Aiden out there dancing up for the cameras, like they're fun to watch. People want to see what this team can do. So, you get flexed.
You want the other takeaway about top 5?
What's that?
Is it crazy to say Sam Laporta is a top 5 tight end right now? Rico, he's really good. And I know it's early. He's top 5 tight end.
Yeah, well, Atlanta won't throw to theirs.
You can't put Pitts ahead of him.
Right, that's what I'm saying. They don't throw to him.
Yeah,
so
you got to look around and you go, all right, outside of Kelsey and Andrews, who unequivocally are you putting ahead of this kid? The way he's playing and the way he's producing.
So Kelsey, Andrews, Kittle.
You want Kittle 3? Go for it. Who's 4?
Hawkinson.
I'll tell you right now, I would not take him over Laporta.
I'm not saying you take him, Mike, but I'm looking at what he's doing.
Yeah, I don't care. He's a loser. Sorry. I'm so sorry.
No, but no.
Sam Laporta might be a top 5 tight end right now.
You're right. He may be 5.
Here, hot take edition 3. He might be the best kid you drafted of the 4 premium picks you had between Gibbs, Campbell, Laporta, and Branch. Laporta might be the best guy.
See,
No.
I'm going to fight you right there. Now,
okay.
No. If you would have stopped at the first 3, you win.
You like Branch.
I like Branch.
And that's a good problem to have.
When every time Branch goes down, I'm sitting there saying, God, please, no.
Dude, he didn't get hit by a sniper. He sprained his ankle.
No, but each time he's gone down, it's non-contact injury, which normally is not a good thing.
Okay, noted.
That's why I'm like, oh, please don't let him pop an Achilles.
Not like this.
Right.
Now, what? Hold on, time out. What is the other football? What is the other football thing we're doing here?
College football.
What about how? Let me hear how. Is this a Rico rank, or are we going to talk?
No, it's not a Rico rank. It's teams that are getting talked about.
So underrated.
Underrated.
Okay. Yeah. Okay. Under talked about. I'm not even sure that's a thing.
I like under talked about.
So we're talking Oklahoma Sooners. Boom Sooner.
Check these goalposts out.
Texas is not back.
They got no shot. None.
248-539 with no shot. The Sooners or the Panthers?
Sooners. 97-1.
Everything is changing so fast around here, and that's a great thing. Back in my day, we were lucky if we can get one video to download to our desktop computer. But now there's Xfinity 10G network. That means the fastest internet with the fastest speeds rolling out all the time, and internet that can power a whole house full of devices with ultra low lag. So while one person is streaming a movie in their room, another can be playing video games in the basement, while another is doing TikTok dances in the kitchen. It's the next generation 10G network only from Xfinity. The future starts now. Now through November 15th, new customers can get a 75 megabit internet on the next generation Xfinity 10G network for just $20 a month for 12 months with no annual contract. Go to Xfinity.com/10G, call 1-800-XFINITY, or visit a store today. Requires paperless billing and auto pay with a store bank account. Restrictions apply. Equipment, taxes, and fees extra. After promo, regular rates apply to internet service. Actual speeds vary.
This team it's 4 games, and none of us are going crazy about it, right? But it's amazing how remarkably consistent this team is. Mm-hmm. They're a top 10 passing team. They're a top 10 rushing team. They're a top 10 offensive team in terms of yards total. Like everything is just like consistent. They are, I think, 8th in the NFL in scoring. That's just all offensive numbers. And then defensively, they're number 1 against the run, which is crazy talk. Right. They're getting all this amazing pressure on the quarterback. Their points per game is right about where it was when they were 8-2 down the stretch. I think they were giving up 20.3 points per game. This is 20.8, which ranks more towards the middle of the league. So that area can be improved upon, but they're remarkably consistent. And this is how you go from being average to good and then go from good to great. It's how consistent are you?
Brought to you by Lady Jane's. Walking anytime, 10 to 8, 7 days a week. It's wicked awesome. Michigan State will not be in action this Saturday. The Spartans are on a bye, but work has officially started to find the program's next head coach. Tom Izzo is getting ready for basketball season, but he says he's willing to do anything to help with that head coaching search. Meantime, the Wolverines are massive 19.5-point favorites over Minnesota in primetime on Saturday night. And the wildcard round continues today in baseball. The Rangers are looking to knock out the Rays. Currently top of the third. That game is scoreless. The Twins will try to do the same to the Blue Jays at 4:30. The late games tonight, D-backs Brewers and Phillies Marlins. I'm Luke Sloanmore at 4 o'clock or at 97ontheticket.com.
All right, we're going to call an audible. We're going to do football today in about 10 minutes. I'm going to tell you something, and it's just a public service announcement for people, because I'll be unequivocal when I say this, that both of these things can be true. I love Tom Izzo, but I don't want him anywhere near this football search. I am so tired of this bit. It's as lame as Zeke the Wonder Dog. It's as lame as the artisanal pretzels outside of Section 8. Tom Izzo, football pads and football coaching search. And, hey, maybe he could be on the committee, or maybe he could be the athletic director. Maybe he could be the – let me help you with something. Tom Izzo is not Jesus Christ. Tom Izzo is not a magic elixir for everything. Tom is a basketball coach who might be at the school for another year, 2, 3 max. He's a wonderful Spartan. Build the statue. Put the name on the stadium. Do whatever you like. But there is no need for him to be anywhere near this search. There's nothing to bounce off of him. Go run the basketball program. You have everything you need. Copious NIL. Beautiful facilities. Just saw the new scoreboard at Breslin. Go win a natty. Because the football thing is its own thing.
Yeah, but the thing is, Mike, first of all, he's the most recognizable face on campus.
DGAF.
Second, he actually cares about the football program. And maybe, maybe it's caring too much by getting involved actively in the search because he wants to see it done right.
Mm-hmm.
He's that type of person, a lot like you, where you want things done a certain way, and if somebody's not going to do it, you will step in and try to get it done.
Oh, that's right.
That's what I think he's trying to do.
That's great.
Now, I would hope let the people do what they got to do.
If Alan Heller's a real athletic director, stand up.
And I think that this is one where, as you get closer and closer, okay, hey, Tom, here's a list of people we're thinking about. What do you think? Yay or nay? But I don't think he's going to be sitting there in the room interviewing every guy. I understand where you're coming from.
That's all.
I
And
understand
again,
that.
I am scarred by it based on past searches and how his name gets invoked. And what? Oh, man, Tom Izzo's going to interview to be the coach.
But let's be real.
Okay, then.
Let's be real. The next, if Izzo for some reason says, I don't like this guy, then you're not bringing that guy in.
Right, but what person would that be? They're not hiring Bill Self.
Understand. It's just
the Coach K ain't interviewing the coach football team.
you got to get the the
How come I
blessing.
can't be a part of the process?
Yeah, you know when you started, I
I
can't
know.
do anything.
I know. No, I will say it, and I know we're going to get into it at 4:00. The right way is not going to be available to Michigan State, which is you need a football-centric, a cheerleader president. You need someone who prioritizes football. Problem, State doesn't have a president right now. You need an athletic director who puts football on a pedestal more than hoops, certainly more than these non-revenue sports that have no purpose. And you need the donors to have a shared vision in how this is going to go. State has none of those. State has factions. They've got Fraggle Rock, a.k.a. the BOT. You've got Allen, who I'm still not convinced is a big-time AD, and we have no president.
Because that last statement that he put out there just kind of read a little bit different where, yeah, we're not doing a search firm. I didn't realize, but, I mean, he's hired, I think, 4 coaches already. Now, granted, Mike, they weren't football or basketball.
Thank you.
But
I'm sorry,
those sports
Adam
count.
Nightingale wasn't exciting to me.
But you know what? To some people, it was exciting to see what he's doing.
Go enjoy your little non-revenue sport in the land. You know what? Why don't you go listen to wdon'tcare.com because that's where those games are broadcast.
You know what, Mike?
I have an SEC mentality, Kenny. It's football and basketball to hell with the rest.
Well, the other ones are on scholarship, and
I'm going to change that too.
What about
We're making
the
them all
Mun?
club sports.
Ice hockey at the Mun. Come on.
Hey, Kenny.
Hey, the Mun just got a big facelift.
Another waste of money. Should have gone to the football stadium.
How much more are you going to do?
All of it.
You don't even like the stadium.
It's a dump.
So why put the money in it? All you're going to do is not like it.
I'm going to talk like David did last segment. Because they got to undumpify it, I'm going to make up stuff.
Yes.
We're going to talk about the teams that don't get talked about too much.net. I'm like, wait, what?
Undumpify it. I love it.
That's why. No, look, we will talk at 4. But when I heard Luke do that routine, Tom, focus. Stay over here. Go win your natty.
See, I'm okay. Because if I would have heard search committee, I would have said, okay.
Oh, that's
wash, rinse,
happening.
repeat.
Don't worry.
I don't think so.
Okay. Gentleman's wager.
Okay.
It hasn't happened yet.
He's indirectly going to be part of the search crew,
No,
right?
no. You mean Tom being a part of the search committee or just a search committee?
A search committee at
Oh, no,
some
there
point.
won't be a search committee. I don't think so.
All right.
I mean, he came out and pretty much said not doing a search committee.
Okay. That's easy to say on October 4th. But that's fine. Oh, I want Allen to take his life in his own hands here, and I want him to make a hire because if it goes well, you can pay Allen whatever you want. If it goes wrong, cannon. No pressure, Alan.
I think he kind of knows that, which is, if my job was on the line, yeah, you know what? I'm going to make that
If my
mistake.
job was on the line, I'd hire one man.
I'm going to make that
But they're
mistake.
not going to do it, so it doesn't matter. 248-539-9797. Keep my list to myself.
Selfish.
That's right. Let's get to the business. We'll do a little blitz.
Selfish child born out of wedlock.
That's not accurate, but I'll take it.
Oh,
That's
my
fine.
God.
Well, I didn't want to say the other word.
What, a bastard child?
Right.
No, that's fine.
No, I'm sure you were.
I'm
I'm not breaking news here, folks.
I think my parents were on the
They were.
linear plan.
You
Let
told
me
us how
double
you
check some things here.
Yeah, you told us how you fell out of your mother.
I don't want to hear that again. No, please no.
Up next, Mike's bastard origin story. No, I'm pretty sure they followed the playbook here. Paulson's is going to be pumped up about this segue. Football's here. Time to upgrade your TV. It's Paulson's. 98-inch LED TV, lifelike. It's front row seating in your home. They've got it. They've got the best deals on it. Sony offering $1,000 off their latest and greatest laser 4K projector. Speakers, headphones, full lineups of all your audio video equipment. And guess what? The launch party today for everybody. Reps and manufacturers on site. Food, drinks, demos, great sale prices. Just visit the events page at Paulson's website for more details. And if you don't remember anything, remember these two things. The prices are always lower than Amazon Prime and Best Buy. And go to their website, paulsonsav.com. That's paulsonsav.com.
This team it's 4 games, and none of us are going crazy about it, right? But it's amazing how remarkably consistent this team is.
Mm-hmm.
They're a top 10 passing team. They're a top 10 rushing team. They're a top 10 offensive team in terms of yards total. Like everything is just like consistent. They are, I think, 8th in the NFL in scoring. That's just all offensive numbers. And then defensively, they're number 1 against the run, which is crazy talk. Right. They're getting all this amazing pressure on the quarterback. Their points per game is right about where it was when they were 8-2 down the stretch. I think they were giving up 20.3 points per game. This is 20.8, which ranks more towards the middle of the league. So that area can be improved upon. But they're remarkably consistent. And this is how you go from being average to good and then go from good to great. It's how consistent are you?
All right, David, let's kick it collegiate style.
So the teams that are getting under-talked about, or in other words, not getting enough respect. So let's start with this. Should they get more respect? Number 10 on the list, West Virginia Mountaineers. They are 4-1 in the Big 12.
No. I mean, Neil Brown's doing a great job of saving his job, and they're pounding teams into submission. It's just an unforgiving, kind of like a welfare U of M offense. They just lean on you. 4 returning starters on the O-line. But, David, they're not that good, and it'll even out. But Neil Brown probably is saving his job.
But, I mean, your only loss is Penn State? I think, David, I think that you know what they are. How do you phrase that? Not being talked about enough?
It's
the Zoolander school for kids who don't read well.
Teams that aren't getting enough respect
Right.
is what it is.
Yes. I think they deserve a little more respect. I do. I didn't think they were good, but all of a sudden, a little resurgence. Yes, not playing great teams, but could have easily folded.
The next team on the list that should maybe get enough respect, they're number 25 on the list. We found out their stadium is now called L&N Credit Union Stadium, and that is Louisville Cardinals, 5-0.
Show me Friday night. That's really what it comes down to. If they pull it off, they beat Notre Dame, they become a real hot story in the ACC. They get flatlined, we'll know that the first 5 games were fake. I think they're right where they need to be.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, beating Notre Dame pretty much sets up now down to them in Florida State. So, yeah, I think that they have it, but this is their test. Show us.
Well, and also the next couple of weeks, they get Notre Dame this week. They got Duke. They got a trip to Miami.
But see, Duke's not going to be the same Duke team.
Oh, Riley Leonard's dead. You're right.
But, hey,
yeah, that's going to be a
Elko.
Oh, hey, let's make another poverty hire.
Ask him right after the game. Next team on the list, they are 4-0. Charles Huff's team. Marshall Thundering Herd, they are 20-10 overall under him in his 3rd year.
Yeah, they damn near lost to Old Dominion last week. You think I'm going to sit here and that doesn't make my privates tingle. Old Dominion might be the worst Division I team in the land. Look, Huff's done a nice job, but he took over a stable program that Doc Holliday left him. He's got the win over Notre Dame from last year. But if you want me to start believing in Huff, show me what they do the rest of the way. I can't sit here and act like it's this an injustice that Charles Huff has not talked about more.
Huh? Famous alum from Old Dominion? Not even famous. I'm just
Hold
saying.
on. From Old Dominion?
He's just an alum.
Who?
Former MSU quarterback, Messiah DeWeaver.
That's where he ended up?
Yep.
Talk about a fall from grace.
Isn't JV from Old Dominion too? I think he is.
Yeah, maybe.
He's more famous than Messiah DeWeaver.
Yeah, I think Kenny wins that competition.
Yeah, okay,
well done.
Kenny. You know what? He just wanted it more.
Famous Marshall grads.
Randy Moss.
Chad Pennington.
Yeah, Randy.
Byron Leftwich.
Ahmad Bradshaw.
Ahmad Bradshaw?
Yeah. All right.
This is not a part of the blitz.
Next.
Next team
What
on
about
the
Matthew
list.
McConaughey's poor accent?
Next.
We are Marshall. Next team on the list, they are 4-1. Their only loss is to Mizzou. It's the Memphis Tigers.
Listen, I watched their game against Boise last week. No. David, they have a great home field advantage somehow. They don't lose in the Liberty Bowl. But what do you want me to say about being talked about? Are they the best group of 5 team?
They
no.
probably.
Yeah, I was about to say, this is a team that if you put them in a Power 5 conference, they would lose a lot of games. So, no.
Well, then I'll just throw them in there because you're probably
This is why we're not talking about them.
You're probably going to say the same thing about this team. They shouldn't get talked about. It is the Liberty.
No,
4-0.
That could be, and that's with Jamie Chadwell, the former Coastal Carolina coach. They could be the best non-Power 5.
They get the spot in the
New Year's 6
games. Yeah,
that could be the one.
Now, yeah, that's where they'll get a chance, in the New Year's 6 game to show, hey, we really did belong. We were that good. But that's it.
Next team on the list, they lost their quarterback, though. I don't know if they should really be getting talked about.
What?
I mean, Texas A&M, they are 4-1.
Okay. They should be talked about, but you got to table it till Saturday night. But there's no fall off from Weigman to Max Johnson. There really isn't. Johnson was always good, highly touted.
I was about to say highly recruited.
The O-line at LSU got him murdered. They've got it together this year. He looks good. I know it's weird because he's left-handed, but look, David, I can't believe I'm going to say this. I think they're going to beat Bama Saturday.
Woo!
I think they're going to beat them.
That's a scorcher, right?
And at 5-1, they should be talked about in a different manner. And boy, howdy, if you like toxicity and spite and venom and grotesque convos, buckle up for Tuscaloosa if they lose that game to A&M Saturday.
Jimbo beating Saban again.
Oh.
And that would pretty much end Alabama's season.
It would end all of it. It would be a disaster.
What did you do if you're Bama with 2 losses right now? I don't think they – Kenny, stop.
It would end Nick Saban's career there. I mean, come on. And you would just
hate to see it.
We'll see Kenny in about 4 hours.
I need to get out of this room fast.
Right.
Next team on the list, Rico, you love this team. They are 5-0. They play in the Big Ten.
Oh.
They have a quarterback named Tualia Tagovailoa. They are Maryland.
Oh, Jesus.
Should they be talked about more?
No. No, they shouldn't, David. They have fed on bad teams. They have. Put it this way. Statistically, they should have lost to MSU. That should tell you everything you need to know about this team. MSU shot themselves in the foot 5 times. They would have beat Maryland. They're 5-0, but they're a fraudulent 5-0. I can say that, Mike.
That's personal growth, my man. I'm proud of you.
Next team on the list, they are number 13 in the AP poll. They have a coach named Jake Dickert. They are the Washington State Cougars at 4-0.
They're good, but I think they're going to take an L this week against UCLA. I mean, look, everything runs through the quarterback, Cameron Ward. Incarnate Word transfer. They've got a really brilliant offensive mind as their OC, a kid named Ben Arbuckle.
But Ward is, he's getting that Heisman talk.
Maybe by crackheads. But the whole point is their defense is ass. It's going to catch up to them. I think they're a nice early
Pac-12 is
story.
about to cannibalize themselves in about 3 weeks.
And a lot of teams are about to dine on the riblets of Washington State here in the next month.
Yeah, the next team on this list, I don't think they should be talked about. I get it, they're 4-0, but they beat Miami of Ohio, Texas A&M, Bethune-Cookman,
Miami,
and Temple, and that's Miami.
Yeah, I just need.
You know what? Yeah.
Now hanging half 100 on A&M, that is
looks
something
more impressive.
That's
now.
not nothing, especially if A&M goes out and beats Bama Saturday. But this is a critical week if you want me to talk about Miami.
Yeah, because other than that, congratulations, you are the
champions of Dade County,
king of the HBCUs.
You're exactly right. And the last team on the list, they will get talked about more after this weekend. They are number 12. It is Oklahoma. They are 5-0.
They're frauds.
There it is, right there, David.
They haven't played anybody.
This game, I know he's thinking it's going to be a runaway game. It just seems like every year this is one of those where one team goes out and you turn it off and you're like, wait, how did you lose? Oklahoma's going to be playing for pride. It's the Red River Shootout.
Okay.
David, horns down.
Okay, so let me give you some actual data. For one, they've played nothing. Second of all, I'll say it again.
Doesn't matter.
All right, you know what? Tell it.
I'm kidding. Go ahead.
No, I mean this is just generally it's a series. You're right, but this isn't that Texas. This is not the Longhorns of old. Dylan Gabriel, name the last big game he played in. He hasn't. They have no running game. They don't. Now, Andrell Anthony, right. Not Nick Anderson, the other kid they got it wide out.
Big 12 normally doesn't run the ball. I get
That's
what you're saying,
lie.
Mike. I get what you're saying.
Lying.
No, I'm saying, but it's more of a passing conference.
Kansas State hammers the ball. Texas hammers the football.
I'm talking historically speaking.
Right, but
Mike.
we're not in history. We're in the now.
Mike, calm down. I'm about to give you a compliment.
Okay.
Ever since Quinn Ewers cut the hair and got serious, you know what?
Yes.
He's actually playing like a real quarterback.
Up next, Kenny gets a haircut.
He's
know. Serious.
I just don't know if I want to see you that happy. That's
okay.
all.
That's fair. I would also just argue Oklahoma, teams are moving it. Now, they bog you down in the red zone. But when Cincy is going up and down the field and
that was scary
and imploding, SMU did the same thing. Hey, if Oklahoma wins, they're one of the 5 best teams in America. I don't buy it.
It's their only test, really, to beat Texas. They don't have anything else on their schedule.
Yeah, and look, for my purposes, Texas could lose and still win the Big 12 and go to the playoff and the whole bit, but I just don't see it.
They would have to run it back.
Yeah,
correct.
Yep, top 2. There's no division, so top 2 get to play. It's really, thank God the Big Ten's going to it. I can't take any more to Big Ten title game.
You're not a big believer to Big Ten West?
Big Ten West, condom with hole in it.
Just remember, 2 weeks ago, Iowa was the best team.
Yeah. What a blessing. And that is your college football blitz. All right, let's get to work. It's a Tuesday. It's October. It's 85 degrees out. And I have no football to watch. All right, Rico, we can start a multitude of ways. We're going to get to University of Michigan a little bit later. Let's burn it down before we build it up, I guess. Lions, a little bit after that. You have things you want to say about Saturday. I want to hit the fan portal. I can't do this the rest of the fall. Yeah. As a Spartans and Giants fan,
Brought to you by Lady Jane's. Walking anytime, 10 to 8, 7 days a week. It's wicked awesome. Today is an off day for the Lions in Allen Park as they try to get healthy ahead of Sunday's game against the Panthers. Monroe St. Brown and Brian Branch both missed practice yesterday. The good news, though, Taylor Decker, Vaitai, Kirby Joseph, and Emmanuel Mosley all participated. Jamison Williams also returned to practice. He's very motivated to contribute to Detroit's success. The line has gotten bigger. Detroit now a 9.5-point favorite over Carolina on Sunday. We've got midweek odds for the Wolverines ahead of their primetime showdown with Minnesota coming up on Saturday night. Michigan a massive 19.5-point favorite in Minneapolis. Meantime, the Spartans are on a bye this week. And the Red Wings are back on the ice for their second of 3 straight preseason games. They're in Pittsburgh to play the Penguins. Robbie Fabry will return from an upper body injury, and all the regulars will also be playing. That puck drop is at 7. The pregame show with Jeff Rieger at 6:45 right here on 97.1. Also in baseball, the wild card round continues. The Rangers looking to sweep the Rays in the first round. They're up 4-0 right now in the top of the 4th. Blue Jays Twins is at 4:30. D-backs Brewers at 7. And then Marlies Phillies is at 8. I'm Luke Sloan at the Ticket Update Desk. I'll be back at 5:30.
All right, 4 o'clock. Great to have you. Gave you a little Lions at 3. We'll get back into it at 5. But Rico wants to bring up something. It is the story. It's like the song that will never end. It is the story that won't go away. It's a story largely right here today on October 4th that is about nothing. Nothing. You can't even, in good faith, interview people at this time. Now, you might be able to back channel. You might be able to sneak into a conference room here or there. Nobody can talk about it. Nobody who's an actual decision maker would release a list. But here we've arrived. It's the Ferris wheel known as MSU coaching search. But Rico has an angle, a way for us to bring this up.
Right.
So take it away, and I'll tell you where we're ending up.
Mike, the angle is simply this. It boils down to Michigan State coming up with their next coach. Do you have to just go safe? Do you have to find somebody who's going to make the people feel good because the last coach got caught up in some type of a scandal and you want this nice, safe pick who's going to build a program, or do you just go for it and win? Do you go big and just throw caution to the wind? New teams are coming from the Pac-12. You're on the precipice of being irrelevant. You go big, you jump back into the game. You go safe, you're everybody's homecoming team. Do you go big? Do you go safe? Because I don't understand why so many people rather go the safe route. And I'm like, you win and you're not going to really care about what a coach did in his past lives. You want to win because you're going to be talking about victories. You're going to be talking about beating rivals. You're going to be talking about all the things, that were fun 10 years ago. So my thing is, when it comes to the MSU coaching search, I'd rather go big than go safe.
Okay. Listen.
You're the one who kind of started overhyping this. That's why I'm like,
no. Let's do this differently. Listen to me. People, this is very simple. Do you agree this is the most important coaching hire in the modern history of Michigan State football? I think Rico and I are, yes. The waters are getting mighty deep, as Rico put it. You could be a homecoming opponent. I would argue this. The list that I've seen and the mentality of you as a fan base is the most insecure, poverty-stricken thing I've ever seen. The idea that Michigan State University, which is a top 25 public school, which is a top 25 job in this country, which is well-heeled, which has all of the sweet, sweet TV money that Rico got us. The idea that the biggest name they can go after is Mike Elko, Jake Dickert, Charles Huff. Burp, fart, sneeze. So my point is, you don't get a choice in this other than to raise your expectations, raise your demands.
See, the problem is there are people who just want They want safe because you're coming off of scandal, because of what happened with Larry Nassar. You got to go out and hire a choir boy.
Totally
You got to go
unrelated.
out and hire somebody that can make the Spartans fans feel good about their program.
It's a totally unrelated thing. I don't
I'm with
consider
you.
Larry Nassar when I talk football.
No,
They're
I'm
unrelated.
No, because you don't want the articles of, you hired a scumbag. Because Mike,
I don't care.
Mike, it's 6 degrees of Larry Nassar. You know, everything always goes back to Larry Nassar when it comes to this school.
Right, so I have a conscious decision. I can let that affect how I run my business, or I can ignore it. And I move forward.
Right, that's why I said, you got to go big. You have to go big, and you can't be afraid to make a mistake. Well, what if it doesn't work out? Okay, it didn't work out. It's not your money. Didn't work out the last time. It wasn't your money. You got to be able to go out here, and you have to get a coach, because if you do this wrong, you're an also-ran. You're Rutgers. You're Indiana. I think Purdue actually got a good coach, but you know what I mean. You're a team that everybody's going to line up to play you for homecoming.
I just want to ask the question, where does this poverty mindset come from? Where is it that when it comes to Michigan State football, somehow Spartan fans are not allowed to demand more, that they're not allowed to go out and make a big hire, make a splash hire? This idea like somehow Michigan State is Duke, or Michigan State is UTEP, or Michigan State is Wake Forest. It's just not accurate. So my question is, why are fans lowering the bar? Like, I love, and it's whether it's people I know and conversations or you read articles, it's like, if this is the list, shut the program down. If this is the best you can do, or God help you, the best that you aspire to, shut it down.
Well,
Raise the bar.
Because when you raise the bar, then you run into the whole, that's just not realistic. You just can't go get this guy. Why not? Because here's what I've learned. People, if in the last year, college football has taught you anything, you could have any player, any coach, any team, any conference that you want.
Right.
If you go after it hard enough, you can have it. Because a year ago, the Pac-12 was getting ready to celebrate 100 years. We've been around. Oh, wait, it's now over. You want teams? You can have them. You want players? Go get them out the portal. So sitting here saying, well, you can't have this person means you're small-minded. It means you don't really want to try hard. You're afraid that this person's going to say no. I don't care.
Well, and again, let me be very clear why I can say the way it should be. The problem is oftentimes the way it is. MSU does not have a cheerleader president like Michigan does. And what I say is Michigan has a president that will bend over backwards for football. We don't have it. We don't even have it.
Yeah, the new one.
Right.
Santa Ono.
Right. He understands football's place at that university. And we can mock it, but that's what we need. We do not have a highly established AD. I'm sorry, we don't. And from the things you've told me and from Allen's actions, he cares about all sports equally. Well, right off the top, this ain't Mother Russia. All right? There's not a chicken in every pot. Football and basketball run the show. Everyone else should just be happy to be invited to the party. And last point, you need a unified front. Do I think the school needs to spend, needs to be bold, needs to produce names that haven't even been talked about? Yes, I do. Do I think they're capable of it? No. Do I think they have the spine? See, you brought it up. You're not wrong in what you said. But MSU is so thin-skinned and cares, weirdly, so much about what the Detroit media says about them.
I don't understand.
What they should do is Eminem style, hockey sticks in the air, and write whatever you want.
You win games.
Because we're going to win.
Right. You win games, and nobody's questioning what your players are doing, what your coaching staff is doing, anything. All they're doing is writing about how great you are, and your quarterback's up for a Heisman, and look at all the sellouts that you're having.
But when people want to know, like, well, who do you want? I go, well, first of all, it's October 4th. So these candidates are going to unearth themselves or launch themselves out of cannons in the coming weeks. But when I see just D-list hire, oh, they should hire Lance Leopold. No. So if the best you can do as Michigan State is to hire a 60-year-old coach from Kansas, quit. You're telling your fans you're quitting. If the best you can do is shake the tree and it's forget about the nonsense of like Dan Enos. I'm talking about this idea of, oh, what about Jonathan Smith? People throw names out. They don't even make sense. Jonathan Smith has never crossed the state of Idaho. Jonathan Smith, enjoy Oregon State. If that's the best you can do as MSU, you've told me everything I need to know. So I want to know for people, where are you at with this process? Because in the coming weeks, we will get an idea of what this school is willing to do. Yeah. See, I don't care about being told no. But if you never ask, I got a problem with that.
Right, that's the thing. And it's like, well, you can't shoot for the stars. You just got to be happy with this.
But
and
why?
Because for some, they believe what you see on social media and people sit and criticize you and they're going to make fun of you. And it's like, guys, so long as they spell your name right, they're going to say stuff about you regardless.
Who cares?
You're never going. But there are some who really want to see the positive articles.
Well,
you want positive articles? Go in.
Well, let me know the next time a playoff spot is granted for an integrity score.
If that's
or
the case,
for a good person score.
Dude, if that's the case, Army and Navy will be playing for the national title every year.
Please.
That doesn't happen.
You have a decision to make as a college football program. And I'll throw the number out, 248-539-9797. You got a decision right now as a college football program. Whether you're Michigan State or otherwise, anyone hiring a coach, anyone thinking about firing a coach, your decision is this. Either jump in the water and you got to go all in on NIL, all in on selling your soul to the devil, all in on where college football is going, or shut it down. Because the lines of delineation, the haves and have-nots, it is going to be such a violent shock to fan bases in college football. The haves are going to be going at light speed, and the have-nots are being dropped off on a desert highway. Mm-hmm. Yeah. And I'm telling you, Michigan State, I don't know, you told me, what was it, up in Lansing, Graham Couch.
Right.
Oh, I don't think people would approve of what Spartan fan cares what the next coach and his proclivities are or not. We want to win. Well, this is nonsense what's been going on.
I'll simply say this. Everybody who's going to get their panties in a bunch, trust me, the team starts winning, you'll be right there saying, go green, go white. So, yeah, we got to get this choir boy.
No, we don't.
No, you don't, because you hire the choir boy and then you'll complain about, well, we keep losing. We're only 6-6. Yeah, but you didn't have any scandal.
So tell me if you've reached the same point that Rico and I have. Tell me if you have reached that point. And if you're not a Spartan fan, you have a right to an opinion. I just won't value it very much because I know your inherent bias will tell you MSU should hire the clown from Uncle Buck. I know where you're at. We have clowns like that at this station. Hey, I know. I know exactly what you believe we should do.
Morning.
Hi, I'm John. Hire Harlan Barnett. Okay, thanks, John. 248-539-9797. Rico, talk to him. We get to the calls next. 97.1.
Guys, you've heard me talk about Specs at LTU. You want that career in radio, TV, graphics design. Specs at LTU can help you get your career jump started. It's very simple. What are you waiting for? Be curious. Visit the website, ltu.edu/specs to learn more about the broadcast media arts, digital media arts, and graphics communications program at Specs at LTU, located right here in Southfield on the campus of Lawrence Tech. You're going to be taught by instructors who actually work in the business like yours truly. What does that mean? It means it's not going to waste your time. You're going to hit the ground running. You're going to be doing things in lab work that can be applicable in the real world. So, once again, hit that website up, ltu.edu/specs to learn more. And while you're there, make magic by enrolling in Specs at LTU certificate program today.
This team it's 4 games, and none of us are going crazy about it, right? But it's amazing how remarkably consistent this team is.
Mm-hmm.
They're a top 10 passing team. They're a top 10 rushing team. They're a top 10 offensive team in terms of yards total. Like everything is just like consistent. They are, I think, 8th in the NFL in scoring. That's just all offensive numbers. And then defensively, they're number 1 against the run, which is crazy talk. Right. They're getting all this amazing pressure on the quarterback. Their points per game is right about where it was when they were 8-2 down the stretch. I think they were giving up 20.3 points per game. This is 20.8, which ranks more towards the middle of the league. So that area can be improved upon. But they're remarkably consistent, and this is how you go from being average to good, and then go from good to great. It's how consistent are you?
When your furnace goes out, you need reliable service. Mastercraft Heating, Cooling, Plumbing, Electrical. They got you covered 24/7. Locally owned for over 40 years. Back their work with a 5-year warranty. Mastercraft, your one-stop shop. Heating, AC, plumbing, electrical, you name it, they got you covered. Generators in stock as well. Mastercraft will get you same-day service. And if they can't, they'll take $100 off that next-day service call. Visit mastercraftheating.com. All right. So we're kind of asking a question here. And again, Lions, we'll get back to it at 5. The Michigan State head coaching job, it's just so many things, so many of these lists, whatever. I just want to understand. I know why the media does it. They're largely brainless and they just cater to the blue bloods. I get it. But I don't know why fans do. What is this poverty mentality with MSU? That somehow they can't go steal someone's coach, or they can't make a bold hire, or that somehow they need to play by rules that no one else plays by. So Rico asked me a question and I answered it. I want MSU to swing for the fences on this hire. And if they get told no a couple of times, I'm not embarrassed by that. No. But I want them approaching legitimate candidates. If the best you can do is Lance Leopold, Jason Candle, nonsense.
If you get to plan D because the first 3 guys said no, fine. Maybe you got to fix some things, but
I'm just
this
at
is
a
where
point as a fan, I'll be honest with you, and fans will be upset and say you have no right to say this. Mike Elko is a backup plan for me. I want to get told no enough I end up having to hire Mike Elko.
Yeah.
But if that's the highest they're going to go.
Right. That shouldn't be your first guy that you pick up the phone and say, hey, Mike, you want to come here? No. You should be able to sit there and if you're turned down, because every school gets turned down, it happens. But the whole, well, you're not good enough to go after this team. Okay.
Oh, and the media carries the water for that narrative. My whole point is as fans and the school, not media.
Go big.
Fans and school don't need to subscribe to it.
Right.
David Ticket Text, what's coming in? We'll get to the calls in a second.
Someone says, this is the biggest hire MSU has had since Perlis. They need to make it right. Mike, Rico, you're 100% right. It's time to put up or shut up. Someone else says, money doesn't matter if you win games. Akin to character flaws don't matter if you win games.
Correct.
Go get the right guy.
That's it. Winning, as Rico has put it, it's the greatest disinfectant on the planet. Win.
I don't ever think about Nasser or Dr. Anderson or Jerry Sandusky or even what happened at Baylor or what's going on at Ohio State. Any of it. Just hire the right guy.
And for that person, I'm talking more of the articles, because every article, no matter what, somehow or another, they just kind of throw Nasser in there. Heck, somebody, even when they had the shooting up there, somebody threw Nasser in the article. Like, what did that have to do with this? But that's just lazy journalism.
Well, Kyle D is addressing that. He says, Mike and Rico, the local media will always look for something to write about Michigan State. Whether we are winning or losing,
Sure.
They will always look to bring them down.
So why care?
Exactly.
That's it right there. Just steer into it. Here's how you spell the name, and let's move forward.
You mean Mike D'Antonio? Remember the ESPN car wash?
Yeah.
They couldn't even get his damn name right. The guy had been to the playoff. Let's go to Toby, 97.1. What's up, Toby?
Hey, guys. Okay. I tried calling the other day, but I got cut off because your show ended. Now, I'm just going to say this very as understanding as I possibly can. They have to put in every card, every money, every chip, anything they have, and they have to go after Meyer. And I don't care what they have to do to get Meyer, but what they could do to get Meyer is very simple. They have $98 million or $81 million, right, that is floating around, right, or around there. So you give them 5 years, you give them $10 million a year, you've got $30 million left. Every time that he gets to a top 12 into the playoff, you give him $1 million. Every time he gets to the Final Four, you give him a little more money. He wins us a national championship in 5 years, you give him $5 million. They have to literally do any and everything to get this guy on our campus.
Okay, so let me. I will handle this with sincerity. All right, Toby, I have said from the beginning, MSU does not have the spinal cord to make a hire like that. But I understand. Well, let me help you. Toby, I'm making a point to you. If you wanted to make an approach on someone like that, you would need to do what Michigan did with Harbaugh. Project Unicorn. You would need to draw upon a united front of former players, massive donors. You'd have to get the BOT in line that if we do this, you're not going to go public, you're not going to screw up. And you would have to do a recruitment similar to that of Harbaugh or what USC did for Lincoln Riley. Oh, we're talking all the gross stuff. We're talking about houses. We're talking about the private jet. We're talking about 10. Urban would spit on 10 million. You would need highest paid coach in America right now is what, 11.9? I
think so.
You'd need 12, 13, 14. He could still say no to it. I'm making a point to you. MSU does not have their house in order to even make that type of move. They don't. They got factions. They've got this weird integrity thing. How could you hire him after you hired Tucker? Because they're unrelated. Because Hugh Freeze has a job. Yeah. And he had escorts on payroll. Because Brian Kelly got hired at LSU. A kid died because he didn't want to stop practice. Yeah. All right? Yeah. Like, do you want me to go down the list of scumbags? Steve Sarkisian, scumbag. Another job. Just, guys.
Lane Kiffin.
Ultimate scumbag. Joey Freshwater, shout out. My point to you is, they don't have what it takes to do it. I'm not mad at the suggestion. Do I think that's the only hire that could immediately and forcefully change things? Yes. I will be shocked.
But see, that
if they got their house in order.
And I'm paraphrasing, but based off of what Haller said of no search committee, we're just going to go in here and get this thing done. And you're doing it right now. This isn't one of those, we're going to wait until the end of the season and find the best person. Leads me to think they understand. Guys, there's a lot on the line here. We got a head start because we've already fired the coach. So there's no reason to sit here and act like, oh, we need to wait and let everybody catch up to us. I don't know if it's going to be Project Unicorn, but when I saw that there was going to be no search committee, I'm like, okay, you really don't need that. We've agreed upon that because they're useless. Can you get everybody on board?
No.
We're going to go and get somebody. We need to keep this as close to in-house as possible until we find out yay or nay on this candidate.
And again, I won't knock anyone for bringing it up because he's a coach you could hire. He's on television. He's not on the sidelines. Right. I don't really care about Jacksonville. Nick Saban sucked in the NFL. I don't care.
Every college coach.
My answer is I don't care. I don't care about the team playing and the dance floor. I don't care. I am desperate to win. I have no illusions look, I'm not here to play school. And there is no integrity conference. Alert me when one opens up. Right. I want to win.
You got 12 spots that are going to be open up to teams.
Yeah. But again,
if you are not regularly participating in one of those 12 spots, you will be left behind.
But MSU is the Bally Sports of college. It's a lemonade stand. It's a dime store operation. So I don't expect anything from them. I'm begging you, prove me wrong. If you're in East Lansing listening, I'm begging you to prove me wrong. Spartans everywhere want to be wrong.
Yeah.
But there is no track record of me believing in you. You have given me no reason.
I think Spartan fans are hoping for something great, but they're bracing for disappointment.
Correct. And look, honestly, for me, it would just represent the end of me caring, to be quite honest with you. 248-539-9797. Let's move football today. I want to do more calls. People are into this. A lot of people lined up. We'll do another segment on it, and then we'll move back to the Lions at 5. That's that time of year, college football every Saturday. And whether you're just down in the dumps because your team has Noah Kim as their quarterback, or you're celebrating, Old Nation Brewing Company, the way to do it. It's Old Nation, fan favorite, world-class beer right in our backyard. M43, B43, the Oktoberfest. They got them all. And they just won Untapped's Regional Breweries Top 15. They're the only one in Michigan to win the award. Bottom line, ask for it by name. Wherever you go, buy your beers, ask for Old Nation. You can check out oldnationbrewing.com. That's oldnationbrewing.com. 21 and up. And as always, please drink responsibly.
Obviously, we know on any given Sunday anybody can win.
Yeah.
San Francisco, Lions better than them?
No.
Not yet. No.
Philly.
I would say as good. Can I say as good?
Yeah, you can say whatever you want.
Yeah.
It's your mouth.
I would say slightly below right now. Slightly.
Buffalo.
Gosh, that's
Gosh,
I mean, honestly, I would say as good.
Yeah.
If it was a home game, I'd take the Lions. If it was there, I'd take Buffalo.
All right. Now, this one, they obviously beat them, but Kansas City. Now, if they had the Kelsey, Chris Jones equation, but.
Oh, so you're going with the.
No, I'm not saying it's an hazard, but we're looking at them right now.
What, did you have dinner with Tirico the other
No,
day?
I'd say right now, yeah.
Sorry, Mike.
They are.
Okay. You didn't say that about Philly, but you said about.
I said the Eagles. I said Jalen Hurts aren't playing that good. Isn't playing that well.
He always shows his true colors.
No. Miami.
I think as good as.
Brought to you by National Benefit Plans. This is an off day for the Lions. They're working to get healthy ahead of Sunday's game against Carolina. But despite that loss last year in Charlotte, head coach Dan Campbell does not consider this a revenge game. To the injury news now, we've got a new report from today. Amon St. Brown, Brian Branch, and Frank Ragnow are all out right now. Taylor Decker, Vaitai, Josh Reynolds, Kirby Joseph, and Emmanuel Mosley, plus Julian Acquar are limited. And Jamison Williams was a full participant. Detroit now a 9.5-point favorite over the Panthers on Sunday. And the Red Wings play their second of 3 straight preseason games tonight in Pittsburgh. Robbie Fabry will return from an upper body injury, and all the regulars do plan to suit up. That puck drop at 7 o'clock. The pregame show at 6:45 right here on 97.1. I'm Luke Sloan, more at 5 o'clock or at 97ontheticket.com.
All right, David, we'll do a football today in about 10 minutes. I want to get back to the callers. A lot of people want to rap about it. Just this idea of doesn't MSU fans and the university, forget about the media, screw the media, they need to raise their expectations for this coaching search. Or are we crackheads? Either way. Let's get to the people, though, shall we? Justin is up next, 97.1. What's up, Justin?
Okay, I got to say, you guys are on the right track, but you got to go a little bit farther. Okay, we're living in a crazy world with these Michigan State fans. I don't expect anything from Michigan fans or anyone else wanting the best for Michigan State. My frustration is these Michigan State people who want to play the moral game with this coaching hire. You have to look at this realistically. Look at the history of Michigan State since Bubba Smith left, 1966. You have one stretch with D'Antonio, 8-9 years. They were winning big. And even within that stretch, they dipped a couple times. Other than that, Michigan State has basically been a 6 or 7 win program. Yes, Perlis got to the Rose Bowl. If you took the average, it's like 6.4 wins a year for 40 years. So this notion that, we don't need to hire Urban Meyer. We're fine. We don't need that. We're Michigan State. We'll be fine. These people are so blinded by that. It wasn't even the entirety of D'Antonio's tenure. A portion of D'Antonio's tenure that was a very wonderful point. I was an undergrad at the time. I loved it as much as anybody. That was the outlier. And if you think this is going to get any easier in the Big Ten, or it's going to be at the same level of difficulty as it was when D'Antonio did it, you're crazy. D'Antonio, in a much easier situation, not to diminish him, was still the outlier in the history of this program. So this idea that, we don't need Urban Meyer, we'll be fine. If you want to admit openly on the air, or anyone calling in or at the bar, that you don't care about winning 6 or 7 games a year, that's a nice little free bag bowl situation.
Right.
That's fine. That's your prerogative.
But Justin, here's even the problem with that. The Fleabag Bowl goes away. If you're not a part of the 12-team playoff, good luck trying to sell season tickets because you're irrelevant. Because with the playoffs expanding, you have more opportunity to show that, okay, maybe we can luck and win a game or two and actually be relevant. Yeah. But if not, no one's going to care about the 6-6 bowl
Justin,
games.
the way that I've put it, I agree with you on this. If they're not in it to win it all, then don't waste my time. I just don't need to care.
Mike, you have to understand your role, though. Other than Brian Masalam, you're probably our greatest living alumnus, okay? We need you to not just talk around the Urban Meyer thing. We need you to be on board with the pirate ship. Because
Justin, there's no talking around it. I have openly said for weeks it's the one hire that would matter to me, but they're not capable of making it. I'm not
Mike,
talking
you've moved off
about
that
it.
topic. I know you agree with me, but what I'm saying is you bring it up and you say, I'm not even going to go there. We all know who I'm thinking of. And then you just move on. Today notwithstanding, and I'm praising that you're doing it. It's just the best segment since Super Racide called in a couple weeks ago.
Oh, tremendous.
But we got to get you more on board. You got to understand your influence
here. Unequivocally, I'm on board. But Justin, once again, we can say how we want it to be. They don't have what it takes to do it. They don't have the power players. They don't have the president. They don't have the AD. They don't have a board that knows what they're doing. I don't even know if you get the donors on the same page. I mean, hell, they can't even get NIL right. They're pulling contracts the night before a game. Look, Pardon my skepticism, Justin. Pardon my skepticism.
Maybe they need to ask you because you got elevated over Ishbia and Gilbert.
Yeah, I don't need that.
Wow.
I just make a point. Like, it's
Eli
very
Broad, Mike Valenti.
It's such a common sense thing. The guy's one of the 5 or 6 best college football coaches of modern college football, and he's sitting on TV. You don't think I'd hire the guy?
Yeah.
I don't care.
And the thing is, if he's so bad, then why is he sitting on TV? Why is Fox and
where
everybody
is the pearl
paying?
clutching by the media that Fox hired him? Why would you have such a low integrity guy on TV every
He's
week?
on Fox. He's
Fart
on
noise.
BTN. He's on 2 different channels every Saturday.
Right. Now, again, make him say no. We've done the topic. Yeah. But what I'm not going to do, Justin, I can't continue to bring up something that I believe has a less than 1% shot because the school's not capable.
And I would make him say
There are
no
still
twice.
alumni out there who, I can't take any more of this. We need a good God-fearing man. Well, then enjoy 6 and 6.
It's a bad image coming off of scandal, and now you're bringing him in with all his sexual scandal. I'm like, what sexual scandal? Like, what happened on the dance floor? I don't care. His wife didn't care. So why are you caring? I just want to win. I just want to see them win. I was too busy looking at all the victories and things that he has, okay? Every coach has flaws.
The bottom line is the school would need to show me that they're willing to go that direction if I'm going to make that a big feature of the show.
You know what? Do what you did to Mel Tucker. Make him say no to you twice. Because remember, Tuck said no the first time. Okay, what if we amp up this? Remember, he went to Colorado. Guys, I'm not leaving. Wait, how much?
But it shows you their ineptitude that Mel Tucker told you no the first time. Listen, man, I hate to break it to you. Go through our lifetime as adults. When has MSU run a coaching search and gotten their first choice?
True.
They don't have what it takes.
But in all fairness, Mike, it's very difficult for a lot of teams to get their first choice.
I understand that. But to never have done it in my lifetime, that's a bit of an issue. You know, just
I was about to say,
bit of an issue.
Perlis may not have been your lifetime.
It was my lifetime.
Okay.
Yes, having George pimp us out for the NFL with pistachios rib stains all over his bib. All right, Jay's up next.
Cool helmets.
97. What's up, Jay?
Yeah, you nailed it when you said you don't know if the donors can get it. If I'm not mistaken, I think the only student population bigger than MSU is ASU, so money is not a problem. I have a theory, like you guys are saying, there's no I can't, there's I won't.
That's right.
They don't care, right? And every school has their thing, like Oxford Rose, right? You don't, and like the Ivy League, they do lacrosse. You don't see Arkansas or Texas in the lacrosse championship, and UConn has women's basketball. Well, men's basketball, Michigan State, they don't give up.
That's it.
They
That's
don't
all.
care about football.
Look, that's
They
the
don't
whole
want
premise,
football.
though.
So
They have to make a conscious
until that
decision.
changes.
They got to make a conscious decision that they want to be a player in football and basketball. Yeah. And look, here's the deal. They have to prove it to fans. Yeah. I don't have to tell. I can tell you what I want. But if I know it has no chance of happening because it's amateur hour in East Lansing, what's the point?
12-team playoff. You're going to get a shot at this. And, hey, look to what Colorado is doing with Deion. You want to be relevant, you make the right hire. You'll get the revenue. You'll get ESPN. You'll get Fox. You'll get CBS. You'll get Peacock all on your campus. You're going to get so much exposure from this. Any money that you paid out, you're going to get back because people are going to the boosters and alums are going to want to donate to the NIL because they want to be around winners.
Say it again to you. They're top 20 in attendance. They're top 20 in revenue. And that's before we got to the new wave of Big Ten money. So, Rico, you're spot on. When MSU cries poor, I turn the channel. I don't want to hear it. 248-539-9797. NFL, FanDuel, America's #1 sportsbook right now. New customers, 200 in bonus bets guaranteed when you place a $5 bet. That's 200 in bonus bets, win or lose. And they got you covered. Thursday night, Bears, Commanders, only way to make that game watchable. Little bet, spreads, props, over-unders, you name it. FanDuel.com/ticket. That's FanDuel.com/ticket. It's FanDuel, the official partner of the NFL, 21 and up, present Michigan. First online real money wager only, $10 first deposit required. Bonus issued is non-withdrawable bonus bets that expire 7 days after receipt. Restrictions apply. See terms. Sportsbook.fanduel.com. Gambling problem 1-800-270-7117.
Did you tear up?
No, I didn't. I was like, that's emotional. I think my hair on the back of my neck stood up a little bit, the goosebumpy. I did not actually physically get tears, but I could tell I was like, wow, this is.
I thought we went out to first base. That would have gotten you.
More than I expected.
Because I know you wanted him to play first base really badly, and then when it happened, I thought, oh, that'll get Doug.
Yep.
King, did you get emotional at all?
I got emotional, but not like teary. I emotionalized in the fact that it was sad and happiness at the same time, if that makes any sense, right? You know, you're like, you get to see the great send-off, which made you happy, but the sadness is this is the end, and it's over.
Yep.
And I talked to Doug about this last week. You don't really, we're not going to really appreciate it, I don't think, for like a year or two, and just realize how legendary Miguel Cabrera was. I mean, this greatest right-handed hitter, greatest hitter of my generation as far as I'm watching, you know, as a Tiger. It's unfortunate that I had to go out without a playoff or a meaningful at bat. But,
that
you know,
sucks.
Yeah, but other than that, though, yeah, it was really cool. I think Tigers were first class. The whole thing really great. The whole weekend, not just yesterday. If you got down there this weekend, you know, you got to see everything. It was really cool.
David, let's kick it collegiate style.
So the teams that are getting under talked about, or in other words, not getting enough respect. So let's start with this. Should they get more respect? Number 10 on the list, West Virginia Mountaineers. They are 4-1 in the Big 12.
No. I mean, Neil Brown's doing a great job of saving his job, and they're pounding teams into submission. It's just an unforgiving, kind of like a welfare U of M offense. They just lean on you. 4 returning starters on the O-line. But, David, they're not that good, and it'll even out. But Neil Brown probably is saving his job.
But, I mean, your only loss is Penn State? I think, David, I think that you know what they are. How do you phrase that? Not being talked about enough?
It's
the Zoolander school for kids who don't read well.
Teams that aren't getting enough respect is what it is.
Yes. I think they deserve a little more respect. I do. I didn't think they were good, but all of a sudden, a little resurgence. Yes, not playing great teams, but could have easily folded.
The next team on the list that should maybe get enough respect, they're number 25 on the list. We found out their stadium is now called L&N Credit Union Stadium, and that is Louisville Cardinals, 5-0.
Show me Friday night. That's really what it comes down to. If they pull it off, they beat Notre Dame, they become a real hot story in the ACC. They get flatlined, we'll know that the first 5 games were fake. I think they're right where they need to be.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, beating Notre Dame pretty much sets up now down to them in Florida State. So, yeah, I think that they have it, but this is their test. Show us.
Well, and also the next couple of weeks, they get Notre Dame this week. They got Duke. They got a trip to Miami.
But see, Duke's not going to be the same Duke team.
Oh, Riley Leonard's dead. You're right.
But, hey.
Yeah, that's going to be a
Elko.
Oh, hey, let's make another poverty hire.
Ask him right after the game. Next team on the list, they are 4-0. Charles Huff's team. Marshall Thundering Herd, they are 20-10 overall under him in his 3rd year.
Yeah, they damn near lost to Old Dominion last week. You think I'm going to sit here and that doesn't make my privates tingle. Old Dominion might be the worst Division I team in the land. Look, Huff's done a nice job, but he took over a stable program that Doc Holliday left him. He's got the win over Notre Dame from last year. But if you want me to start believing in Huff, show me what they do the rest of the way. I can't sit here and act like it's this an injustice that Charles Huff has not talked about more.
Famous alum from Old Dominion? Not even famous. I'm just
Hold
saying.
on. From Old Dominion?
He's just an alum.
Who?
Former MSU quarterback, Messiah DeWeaver.
That's where he ended up?
Yep.
Talk about a fall from grace.
Isn't JV from Old Dominion too? I think he is.
Yeah, maybe.
He's more famous than Messiah DeWeaver.
Yeah, I think Kenny wins that competition.
Yeah, okay,
well done.
Kenny. You know what? He just wanted it more.
Famous Marshall grads.
Randy Moss.
Chad Pennington.
Yeah, Randy.
Byron Leftwich.
Ahmad Bradshaw.
Ahmad Bradshaw?
Yeah. All right.
This is not a part of the blitz.
Next.
Next team
What
on the
about Matthew
list.
McConaughey's poor accent?
Next.
We are Marshall. Next team on the list. They are 4-1. Their only loss is to Mizzou. It's the Memphis Tigers.
Listen, I watched their game against Boise last week. No. David, they have a great home field advantage somehow. They don't lose in the Liberty Bowl. But what do you want me to say about like being talked about? Are they the best group of 5 team?
They
no.
probably.
Yeah, I was about to say, this is a team that if you put them in a Power 5 conference, they would lose a lot of games. So, no.
Well, then I'll just throw them in there because you're probably
This is
going
why
to
we're
say
not talking about them.
You're probably going to say the same thing about this team. They shouldn't get talked about. It is the Liberty.
No, that
4-0.
That could be, and that's what Jamie Chadwell, the former Coastal Carolina coach, they could be the best non-Power 5.
They get the spot in the
New Year's
6
Six
games. Yeah,
that could be the one.
Now, yeah, that's where they'll get a chance, in the New Year's 6 game to show, hey, we really did belong. We were that good. But that's it.
Next team on the list, they lost their quarterback, though. I don't know if they should really be getting talked about.
What?
I mean, Texas A&M, they are 4-1.
Okay, they should be talked about, but you got to table it till Saturday night. But there's no fall off from Weigman to Max Johnson. There really isn't. Johnson was always good, highly touted.
I was about to say highly recruited.
The O-line at LSU got him murdered. They've got it together this year. He looks good. I know it's weird because he's left-handed, but look, David, I can't believe I'm going to say this. I think they're going to beat Bama Saturday.
Woo!
I think they're going to beat him.
That's a scorcher, right?
And at 5-1, they should be talked about in a different manner. And boy, howdy, if you like toxicity and spite and venom and grotesque convos, buckle up for Tuscaloosa if they lose that game to A&M Saturday.
Jimbo beating Saban again.
Oh.
And that would pretty much end Alabama's season.
It would end all of it. It would be a disaster.
What did you do if you're Bama with 2 losses right now? I don't think they – Kenny, stop.
It would end Nick Saban's career there. I mean, come on. And
Well,
you would just
know what?
hate to see it.
We'll see Kenny in about 4 hours.
I need to get out of this room fast.
Right.
Next team on the list, Rico, you love this team. They are 5-0. They play in the Big Ten.
Oh.
They have a quarterback named Tualia Tagovailoa. They are Maryland.
Oh, Jesus.
Should they be talked about more?
No. No, they shouldn't, David. They have fed on bad teams. They have. Put it this way. Statistically, they should have lost to MSU. That should tell you everything you need to know about this team. MSU shot themselves in the foot 5 times. They would have beat Maryland. They're 5-0, but they're a fraudulent 5-0. I can say that, Mike.
That's personal growth, my man. I'm proud of you.
Next team on the list, they are number 13 in the AP poll. They have a coach named Jake Dickert. They are the Washington State Cougars at 4-0.
They're good, but I think they're going to take an L this week against UCLA. I mean, look, everything runs through the quarterback, Cameron Ward. Incarnate Word transfer. They've got a really brilliant offensive mind as their OC, a kid named Ben Arbuckle.
But Ward is, he's getting that Heisman talk.
Maybe by crackheads. But the whole point is Their defense is ass. It's going to catch up to them. I think they're a
and
nice
the Pac-12
early
is
story.
about to cannibalize themselves in about 3 weeks.
And they're about to. A lot of teams are about to dine on the riblets of Washington State here in the next month.
Yeah, the next team on this list, I don't think they should be talked about. I get it, they're 4-0, but they beat Miami of Ohio, Texas A&M, Bethune-Cookman,
Miami,
and Temple, and that's Miami.
Yeah, I just need.
You
more.
know what? Yeah.
Now hanging half 100 on A&M, that is
It looks
something.
more impressive.
That's
now.
not nothing, especially if A&M goes out and beats Bama Saturday. But this is a critical week if you want me to talk about Miami.
Yeah, because other than that, congratulations, you are the
champions of Dade County,
king of the HBCUs.
You're exactly right. And the last team on the list, they will get talked about more after this weekend. They are number 12. It is Oklahoma. They are 5-0.
They're frauds.
There it is, right there, David.
They haven't played anybody.
This game, I know he's thinking it's going to be a runaway game. It just seems like every year this is one of those where one team goes out and you turn it off and you're like, wait, how did you lose? Oklahoma's going to be playing for pride. It's the Red River Shootout.
Okay.
David, horns down.
Okay, so let me give you some actual data. For one, they've played nothing. Second of all, I'll say it again.
Doesn't matter.
All right, you know what? Tell it.
I'm kidding. Go ahead.
No, I mean this is just generally. It's a series. You're right, but this isn't that Texas. This is not the Longhorns of old. Dylan Gabriel, name the last big game he played in. He hasn't. They have no running game. They don't. Now, Andrell Anthony,
Right.
not Nick Anderson,
but
the
I mean,
other kid they got
Big-
it wide out.
Big 12 normally doesn't run the ball. I get
That's
what you're
a
saying,
lie.
Mike. I get what you're saying.
You're lying.
No, I'm saying, but it's more of a passing conference.
Kansas State hammers the ball. Texas hammers the football.
I'm talking historically speaking.
Right, but we're not in history. We're in the now.
Mike, calm down. I'm about to give you a compliment.
Okay.
Ever since Quinn Ewers cut the hair and got serious, you know what?
Yes.
He's actually playing like a real quarterback.
Up next, Kenny gets a haircut.
I just don't
He's
know.
serious.
I just don't know if I want to see you that happy. That's
okay.
all.
That's fair. I would also just argue Oklahoma, teams are moving it. Now, they bog you down in the red zone. But when Cincy is going up and down the field and
That was scary.
and imploding, SMU did the same thing. Hey, if Oklahoma wins, they're one of the 5 best teams in America. I don't buy it.
It's their only test, really, to beat Texas. They don't have anything left on their schedule.
Yeah, and look, for my purposes, Texas could lose and still win the Big 12 and go to the playoff and the whole bit, but I just don't see it.
They would have to run it back.
Yeah,
correct.
Yep, top
Correct.
2. There's no division, so top 2 get to play. It's really, thank God, the Big Ten's going to it. I can't take any more of the Big Ten title game.
You're not a big believer to Big Ten West?
Big Ten West, condom with hole in it.
Just remember, 2 weeks ago, Iowa was the best team.
Yeah, what a blessing. And that is your college football blitz.
David, let's kick it collegiate style.
So the teams that are getting under talked about, or in other words, not getting enough respect. So let's start with this. Should they get more respect? Number 10 on the list, West Virginia Mountaineers. They are 4-1 in the Big 12.
No. All right, let's get to work. It's a Tuesday. It's October. It's 85 degrees out. And I have no football to watch. All right, Rico, we can start a multitude of ways. We're going to get to University of Michigan a little bit later. Let's burn it down before we build it up, I guess. Lions, a little bit after that. You have things you want to say about Saturday. I want to hit the fan portal. I can't do this the rest of the fall. Yeah. As a Spartans and Giants fan, if I can't continue to do this flaccid penis offense that we watch constantly. 60 minutes on Saturday, 60 minutes on Sunday. Nobody can block a soul. Nobody can throw the ball. Nobody can do anything. Clown car effort. Arguments on the sidelines. Teams that look like they're on Quaaludes. I want to hit the fan portal. But see, you have something else you want to say today.
No.
And you won't share. No. So I said, fine. I'll sit here and just let you go ahead. Go ahead and shoot.
Brought to you by Twin Peaks. The Lions have released their injury report from practice today. Amon-Ra St. Brown, Brian Branch, and Frank Ragnow all missed practice. Taylor Decker, Vaitai, Josh Reynolds, Kirby Joseph, Emmanuel Mosley, and Julian Okwara were all limited participants, and Jamison Williams had a full practice. He says he's motivated to contribute to Detroit's success. Detroit is a 9.5-point favorite over Carolina on Sunday. That's according to FanDuel. And the midweek odds heavily favor the Wolverines ahead of their primetime showdown with Minnesota on Saturday night. Michigan, a massive 19.5-point favorite. Meantime, the Spartans have their bye this week. The Red Wings play their second of 3 straight preseason games tonight against Pittsburgh. Robbie Fabry will return from an upper body injury, and all the regulars plan to suit up. Puck drop at 7 o'clock. The pregame show with Jeff Rieger at 6:45 right here on 97.1. And the wild card round continues today in baseball. The Rangers are on the verge of sweeping the Rays. Currently bottom of the 7th. They're up 7-0. And Kenny's Blue Jays scoreless with the Twins in the top of the 2nd. They're looking to avoid a sweep. The late games tonight, D-backs Brewers and Phillies Marlins. At the Ticket Update Desk, I'm Luke Sloan. For more, visit 97.1 The Ticket or Odyssey.com.
All right, 5 o'clock. Great to have you with us as we cruise along. Lions at the quarter pole. Let's bring it back. It's very simple. There's no one who could be unhappy with 3-1. I don't think anyone reasonable would call it anything other than a success. Now it's BOGO days. Obviously, Carolina's a good soft open. You're at home. It's a rookie QB. You're damn near 10-point favorites. The point is, what do we think we know about this team at the quarter pole? What do you think you know? Like, I'm going to give you an example, and you can call in with anything on the board. I think I know you're not going to run the ball on these guys. we're going on a year and a half of teams just can't run it. Now, I know Carolina last year, there will always be an outlier.
Yeah.
There will be a game where Josh Allen throws 4 picks. Yep. There will be a game the best defense in football gives up 50.
Yeah, there'll be a game some rookie coming off the bench rushes for 150
right,
yards.
Exactly. So just take the outlier and work with me. I think I know this run D is real. And if we're looking at what it takes to win the NFC, the Eagles and Niners are the Spider-Man meme in this regard. The way they run it and the way they stop the run. It's not accidental. The Niners, for all of the flash and the sizzle and all these things, stop the run, run the ball. The Lions are that team. Mm-hmm. So I think I know teams can't run it on us. And the other thing I think I know is they're one of the half dozen best teams in football. Those are the 2 things I think I know. I don't want to take all the other things. I want to give people an opportunity to call up. But at the quarter poll, what do you think you know?
I'm going to steal one of yours, Mike. I think that I know that they're one of the top 8 teams, not in the NFC, in the NFL, right here, right now. They're one of the top 8 teams. You know what else I think I know? I think I know that they are living up to the offseason hype. For the first time in my lifetime, I've heard how great this team is. This year's going to be different. I'm finally seeing different. I'm seeing a team offensively and defensively getting the job done. And I'm not talking about barely winning games. I'm not talking about how Minnesota won games out of pure luck. They're just flat out beating teams. And even the game that you lost, you had an opportunity to win. So you could easily be 4-0. So, yeah, this team lived up to the preseason hype, and they're one of the top 8 teams in the NFL right now. That's what I know at the quarter turn.
What about this one? I think I know we didn't need Jamal Williams after all. David Montgomery is doing just fine. This offensive line is standing up for him. Did the same exact thing Jamal did, except better. Didn't need him.
Kenny,
I like
strong.
That. I like that.
And he doesn't wear silly hats.
I think it's as strong as the Dan Campbell comment about J-Mo on our airwaves today. Did you like that, by the way? We got to be able to trust J-Mo to play him.
Huh?
Yeah. Hello. Dan Campbell is sending out message after message. And now it's on J-Mo to figure it out. But if you didn't hear that, go listen to that on Odyssey.com Rewind. But
put it this way.
What do you think you know?
If that thing goes bad, I will not be shocked by the next move.
No.
Because they're telling you without telling you what's about to happen.
If they're winning, here's what happens. He goes to purgatory. The Eagles didn't sit there and play games with Jalen Reagor. You know what they said? We don't need you.
Yep.
We'll continue to move on.
You know what? We'll take a 4th, 5th round pick for you.
Or you turn it around, you become a big part of this thing, and everybody goes down the road happy together. Mm-hmm. What do you think you know about your team? What are you convinced of at the quarter poll regarding the Lions? It could be player, coach, the whole thing. If you are convinced you're winning this division, that's fine. I'm convinced nobody's running the football on you. They really have figured out from a scheme standpoint and with the pieces they have how to get the most out of them. Now, do I still wish they had used a pick, or either the Gibbs pick or Williams pick, on a D lineman? Yes, of course I do.
But you know what? We're going to move on.
I know we are. But they are, in fairness to them, they are being proven right in this regard, is that they didn't need it. Because I still think they need it. But they're saying we didn't need it because we are stopping everyone on the ground.
And I'm going to add one more thing that I know.
Let's hear it.
Brian Branch was the best rookie in this class.
It's not an argument for me. I would lean Laporta, but you have every right to say Branch.
I mean, because what he's doing on stopping the run, tackling losses in the backfield, covering people, like he is all over the place. And you're just sitting there saying yes, he's one that you will pay when the contract is up.
He just kind of reminds you a little bit of Kyle Hamilton.
Yeah.
Remember the kid from Notre Dame who the Ravens drafted?
Yep.
You just move him all over the place.
Yeah.
Hell, he's C.J. Gardner-Johnson. He looks like a star.
He's C.J. Gardner-Johnson that you have under control for the next 4 years.
10 cents.
Yeah.
David, what do you think you know at the quarter poll about the Lions?
I think I know that this is a top 5 offense in the league. I know what Miami's doing. I know what Kansas City can do.
Yep.
but they are operating like they're a top 5 offense. The efficiency is there. They go out there and just get the job done. Jared Goff throws an interception. No big deal. I'll just come back, get a touchdown.
Trust his defense.
Take us down 75 yards and get it.
Yeah.
That's it.
Oh, you're not going anywhere on this defense. I'll get the ball back. I'm just going to take a little break, get a little Gatorade.
Yeah, their response to the early pick, not only Goff, but the way they played, that's championship DNA. That's a professional response. That's
you didn't see the throwing the helmet. Oh, no, guys, we got this. Yeah.
No. So I'd love to know from the people. We're at the quarter pole. Clearly, we're a long road ahead. But as you sit here, they're accomplishing what we wanted. And as long as they can continue putting themselves in a position that by Thanksgiving, we get the scoreboard watch, we get to play the ratings game, we get to look at seeding and different things. Hey, man, all you need to do right now is just keep stacking wins. And then come up for air in about 4 weeks, take a look at the midway point and go, all right, where are we? You know, if we're 6-2 and the Eagles are 6-2, mission accomplished. You're in the game. You're in the mix.
Now you're going for that number 2 seed overall.
And then that's where
guys,
the stakes get raised.
You want that number 2 seed.
Correct. 248-539-9797. David, ticket text coming in. We'll get to the callers momentarily, but what are people saying kind of early on here?
I think I know the Lions are maybe 70% as good as they can be this year. Jake in Belleville.
70% as good as they can be?
Yeah, he's saying right now they're only playing at 70% of
so
what
they're still 30%.
Correct. Okay. Of improvement. Someone says, I think I know that Goff is about to get the bag. That is from Ryan.
Mm-hmm. You know what? And a lot of people around here won't like to hear that, but David, tell me why you wouldn't pay him. Right now, he's one of the best quarterbacks in the league. Now, you could start over with a rookie, but you're better off dancing with the person that you know, that you came to the party with.
Someone says, I feel like, and I know, the Lions are in a spot where they should start looking to trade for some real difference makers.
You know, it's interesting you say it. The NFL trade deadline never used to mean a thing. But every year it is becoming more like the NBA, more like the NHL, more like the MLB. You're seeing real player movement. Now, over the next 7 to 10 days, you'll start to get a better handle on what it looks like. I've been saying it since summer. You know, you're in a position. You're not doing all in and giving up 3 first-round picks. That's not it. But do I believe the Lions should be buyers at the deadline to add something to this mix? Yeah, of course I do.
Yep, I'm waiting for the Bears or the Raiders fire sale. And I'll take that, and I'll take him.
Yeah, you can get a deeply discounted Chase Claypool if you like. You imagine they give a second-round pick for the guy, and now they're telling him to stay home.
You can get Randy Gregory for free.
Okay, then. David.
Mistakes were made.
Says, now I know that Goff is a top 10 quarterback in this league. Okay.
I think it's fair because if you begin naming 10 quarterbacks better than him, you're going to have a hard time.
Can you convince your podcast partner that?
I don't need to. Jim does some weird stuff, man.
He dies on some strange hills,
man. He
dies
dies on that hill, and I'll tell you the other one he dies on. I've given him every opportunity this week. I go, look, man, it's okay that you thought Oklahoma would be good and Texas would suck. You've been proven wrong now for a month that Texas is really good, and OU kind of looks ratty.
He needs this weekend.
And he's like, yeah, and he's not like even allowing himself to view it like Texas is actually good. I'm like, Jim, why are you dying on this hill? Like, this isn't you're not going to lose your podcast job if you just alter your opinion. It's something. And he won't alter his take on Goff.
No, Goff, you could do so much better. I'm like, really? Because right here, right now, there's not too many teams that would pass on Jared Goff if the Lions cut him.
Also correct. 248-539-9797. We will get your calls coming up next. 97.1.
Planet Fitness is the home of the judgment-free zone. What does that mean? That means anybody, anywhere can go to the gym and work out and not worry about any type of pressure. As a matter of fact, it's very simple. They have tons of new equipment in a lot of the gyms. And if you're like, I don't have enough time, you can get a full body workout in a 30-minute circuit. And all memberships include a fitness training. So what do you need to do? Simple. Head on down to any of your local Planet Fitnesses and sign up right now. And now through October 13th, $1 down, $10 a month, no commitment. And if you even want to upgrade, you can go and get a black card. But right now, $1 down, $10 a month, no commitment whatsoever. Now through October 13th, just go to any local Planet Fitness to sign up or go online at planetfitness.com.
This team it's 4 games, and none of us are going crazy about it, right? But it's amazing how remarkably consistent this team is.
Mm-hmm.
They're a top 10 passing team. They're a top 10 rushing team. They're a top 10 offensive team in terms of yards total. Like everything is just like consistent. They are, I think, 8th in the NFL in scoring. That's just all offensive numbers. And then defensively, they're number 1 against the run, which is crazy talk. Right. They're getting all this amazing pressure on the quarterback. Their points per game is right about where it was when they were 8-2 down the stretch. I think they were giving up 20.3 points per game. This is 20.8, which ranks more towards the middle of the league. So that area can be improved upon. But they're remarkably consistent, and this is how you go from being average to good, and then go from good to great. It's how consistent are you?
Perfect temperature to sleep, 68 degrees. It's not up for debate, and neither is the most comfortable mattress on the marketplace. The iComfort Eco, supportive, designed to keep you cool, comfortable, and feeling restored. Or the Serta Perfect Sleeper for pressure-relieving comfort and support while maintaining a balanced sleep temperature. Serta mattresses, made in Michigan, have been for 110 years. Just go to Serta.com to find a retailer near you. Rico Beard, everybody.
Mike, I don't know if this is breaking news or not, but it looks as if Jim Harbaugh in Michigan may be closer to getting a contract extension.
And why is that?
According to Joe Klatt on the Herds, looks like the president stepped in to make sure that this contract is going to get done.
And again, when we were just talking about the Michigan State thing, what does State not have? A cheerleader president. We don't have a full-time president. What Michigan has is a president who, despite being a cartoon character at times, understands the value of football. You know what else Santaono understands? It's about to get hot.
Yep.
NFL job openings are about to happen. This yearly dalliance that Coach Harbaugh likes to do is on the horizon. Do you know how we can squash it as we enter the actual portion of our season? I'm stepping in. It's a keynote because that means he's going right over the top award, and I'm getting this done.
Yeah, Jim, you call me from here on out.
Now,
Here's my number.
And I have never, ever, I've never said that Harbaugh should leave. The best place for him is right here because he gets to do whatever he wants. And
now that you've beaten Ohio State twice, you made it to the playoffs.
And
there's no. He's probably about 3-4 years from experiencing pressure again.
So the point would be, my thing was, it seemed like he was hell-bent on the NFL. And NIL, no bueno. The NCAA, this whole nonsense. Now would have been the time based on the Bears job will be open, Charger job will be open. Who knows what
Maybe
else?
the Raiders.
Maybe the Raiders and the friendship with the Davis family. The point I make is Santaono's doing the right thing. You step to the plate, you get the guy signed. If he finds a way to wiggle out of this deal after the year, then you at least can tell your customer base we did everything we could.
Yeah.
But that's, again, it's Michigan.
You made the effort. It's what you said you want to see at Michigan State. Make the effort, get
That's
it
right.
done. If it doesn't work out, guys, what did you want me to do
No, it's
besides
brilliant.
hold them hostage?
It's brilliant. Michigan's firing on all cylinders right now.
Yeah.
And I
Now,
can.
it's not done, but it appears
No,
that
but-
it could be happening relatively soon.
But where there's a fault line where maybe the AD gets in the way, the president's stepping in and getting it done. Because they value football. They understand what Harbaugh's worth is, the business, what's on the horizon. It's an A+ to me. Get him signed.
Yeah, I've never really understood that relationship between him and Ward. It just,
There's nothing to understand.
It seems so strange.
But the whole place is strange. It's a cult.
Right, but
they're thick as thieves,
but
and
in
they're
a cult-
united, and they get things done.
In a cult, everybody's on the same page.
Yeah, there's outliers.
David,
Maybe
what's it
that's
like?
where Ward disappeared to. Maybe Ward they put Ward in like the garbage pickup along 94. Get out of the way. Go pick up some garbage. We got a contract to get done.
Do our community service. You go. Ward's
I got to
renting-
talk to Harbaugh.
Yeah, Ward's renting cars. Go ahead.
All right, let's get to the people, shall we? We'll go to Mike, 97.1. Hi, Mike. How you doing, buddy?
Hey, brother. What's going on, man? Good to talk to you as usual.
What do you got?
So, first of all, listen, Harbaugh, I mean, it's great, man. I'm glad we finally got a president who's stepping in and doing things because we wanted Ward gone a long time ago. So,
And
he's
Mike,
stepping
like
in
I
and doing
said,
it.
deal's not done yet.
What's up, Rico?
It just looks like it may be done. So I'm not
Rico.
saying it's done.
Yeah, you want to hear something better, though? I think they're going to wait on the announcement after the NCAA investigation wraps up so they don't add a few more games on there just to rub it in with Harbaugh because we're rewarding him, quote
Good
unquote.
point. Yeah.
But
That's a
anyway,
really
I wanted
nice
to move on to
point.
Listen, and this is why this hasn't been announced between me and you. But anyway, listen, we in Michigan, just so you know, deal with the same crap you guys deal with, but on a lesser level, right? The trustees are idiots. They don't know what the hell they're talking about. We have to sit there and convince them about the NILs and all that. So trust me, like, it ain't pretty anywhere else. OSU is a cult. Alabama is a cult. Everybody's a cult, dude. You just got to make it work somehow. But moving on to the Lions, I wanted to say, so after the 4-game mark, for me personally, this is my opinion on this team. Nobody's going to rattle us. This team will not be rattled, right? We're going to go into Kansas City, right? We're going to go into Lambeau. These are usually environments that we don't go in and succeed, right? So we barely even keep up with these teams. We're going in there. We're going to be tough, and we're going to outwork everybody, and we're going to end up putting ourselves in a position to win the game. Now, whether it happens or not, that really falls down on not our work or effort. It's more about whether we make a mistake or not. And so this is why I fully believe in this team. I mean, after the 4-game mark, nobody's going to rattle us. And as funny as it sounds, right? Campbell came in and the had, quotes about biting kneecaps. Everything he said, it's like a prophet. It's coming for tuition, Like, to me, it's becoming a reality. And so you look at it and you're like, this team, you know what? The ceiling is whatever they dictated it to be this year. Now, can we add a few more pieces to kind of cover up some of our weaknesses? Every team is going to have a weakness.
If you wanted the app, like, I'll give you, yeah, Mike,
thanks.
I'll give you the absolute ceiling. If you had to close your eyes and dream and go, all right, the absolute ceiling would be an NFC title game loss in San Francisco. They're just not ready for that. But if you got some games at home, could you beat the Eagles at your place, or you could beat anybody. But I don't think going out to San Francisco on NFC title Sunday, I don't think you're ready for that. If you're asking what if San Francisco's not there? What about this? What about that? Guys, that's why we play the games. I'm making a point to you. When you want to know what the ceiling is, I believe if you get to Championship Sunday, obviously you're a Super Bowl team. You're playing for the right to go to one. I believe that. I've always believed it. This team, that's the ceiling. And what did I comp you to? This isn't, you're tooting your horn. No, I'm making a point. I comped you to the Eagles from 2 years ago. They were a 9-8 team. They got destroyed in the playoffs.
You did say that.
Questions about Hurts. Is he a real quarterback? Is he a franchise guy? They blossomed last year. That, to me, is what you are this year. That doesn't mean you're going to a Super Bowl, but division
I
winner,
don't like that because that means you're going to rip off Brock Purdy's arm this year, like the Eagles did.
Do you understand the satisfaction I would get if Aiden Hutchinson actually ripped Purdy's arm off?
I know.
And then did his dance. He played Purdy's arm like an air guitar, like David when he would do the San Diego Superchargers.
Unfortunately, I couldn't get satisfaction if it goes the other way.
He's got this limb with blood flying everywhere, and he's just like, yeah, strumming the guitar.
It's so not fair, David, because I can't get the same satisfaction because it would seem like I'm rubbing it in the face of Detroit. But yes,
just hate
for
to
him.
See it. Yeah. Let's go over to Bryce, 97.1. What's up, Bryce?
Hey, Mike and Rico. Hey, thanks for taking my call, guys. Hey, I just wanted to say the thing that I know about the Lions after watching them these first 4 games is they are not a team that is going to get beat by kind of crappy calls or bad officiating. Like, this is a team now that can overcome those obstacles, and they can really make a difference. For instance, like last week, I saw my life flash before my eyes when the third quarter hit double zeros. So, I mean, this is a team that can overcome that, and to see them take that drive down the field after that and just systematically take apart Green Bay's defense, I mean, it proved every wonderful thing in my head right about this team. So I knew that after watching that game.
I think there's absolutely a resilience to this team. I'm with you. I don't think they're going to get beat by the stupid call or the mistake. You saw the refs try to screw them, which you alluded to. That's part A, and I know it's laughable sometimes when people use the culture word, but that is culture on display. It is.
I was so impressed when week 1, when the Kansas City right tackle just kept getting the false
Jawan Taylor, I believe.
Yeah, and they just shrugged it off, and they just didn't get bothered. You didn't see anybody yelling and screaming on the sideline.
Didn't need to.
That showed me a lot of character. Like, okay.
How about the early interception last week? Overcome it. Goff was steely-eyed. They blew that team out in the first half. They recovered.
You instantly put them in the red zone, and it was like, you guys aren't going to score a touchdown. Better kick that field goal. Don't go for it on 4th down.
And
get your feelings hurt.
Understand something. What we're saying today may or may not hold water in 4, 6, 8 weeks, but understand.
But it's the quarter turn.
It's the quarter turn, and right now, the opportunity to get better, I think this team has this growth factor that, like, we already know what San Francisco is. We know what the Eagles are. There is no better than what they are. They're awesome. Right. The Lions, by the end of this, could rise to that. Now, they're not there yet. But, man, I'll tell you,
No, the goal is in another 4 weeks.
Yeah.
They're 6-2.
You know what was interesting? Flexing that Tampa game. Little Lions football at 4:25 in the afternoon. Beautiful. Are you going to that game still?
No, I got to do the pre-show with cookies.
Just do it on the road.
Right in front of the stadium. Rico beer.
No, Rico would be at what do you call it? Mons Venus. We'll get Rico from the club pregame.
No, I would be in the Golston's club.
Why can't you just get a setup? Why can't you get a setup at the stadium? Just go to the game. Oh, come on. I tell you.
You know, Mike,
I'll handle it. All right.
I would love to.
Well, you know what? Since you're afraid, let me make the ask.
Well, you know what? You are MSU's best alum ever.
I'll tell you. I don't care. Sure.
Mr. Valente.
All righty. Paulson's, the Prices are lower than ever. You know that deal. But the products they're carrying continue to expand. So it's not just 98-inch LED TV from Sony, front row seating in your living room. Sony's latest laser 4K projector, $1,000 off that. But they've also incorporated speakers, headphones, the complete audio-video lineup. They've got it under one roof. And they're doing a launch party tonight. Representatives, manufacturers, food, drinks, demos, and crazy low prices. PaulsonsAV.com. You can go to the event section and get more details on it. But it's Paulson's Audio Video, PaulsonsAV.com. It's Paulson's Audio Video. It is the toy store for grown-ups.
This team it's 4 games, and none of us are going crazy about it, right? But it's amazing how remarkably consistent this team is. They're a top 10 passing team. They're a top 10 rushing team. They're a top 10 offensive team in terms of yards total. Like everything is just like consistent. They are, I think, 8th in the NFL in scoring. That's just all offensive numbers. And then defensively, they're number 1 against the run, which is crazy talk. Right. They're getting all this amazing pressure on the quarterback. Their points per game is right about where it was when they were 8-2 down the stretch. I think they were giving up 20.3 points per game. This is 20.8, which ranks more towards the middle of the league. So that area can be improved upon. But they're remarkably consistent. And this is how you go from being average to good and then go from good to great. It's how consistent are you?
David, let's kick it collegiate style.
So the teams that are getting under-talked about, or in other words, not getting enough respect. So let's start with this. Should they get more respect? Number 10 on the list, West Virginia Mountaineers. They are 4-1 in the Big 12.
No. I mean, Neil Brown's doing a great job of saving his job, and they're pounding teams into submission. It's just an unforgiving, kind of like a welfare U of M offense. They just lean on you. 4 returning starters on the O-line. But, David, they're not that good, and it'll even out. But Neil Brown probably is saving his job.
But I mean, your only loss is Penn State? I think, David, I think that you know what they are. How do you phrase that? Not being talked about enough?
It's
the Zoolander school for kids who don't read well.
Teams that aren't getting enough respect is what it is.
Yes. I think they deserve a little more respect. I do. I didn't think they were good, but all of a sudden, a little resurgence. Yes, not playing great teams, but could have easily folded.
The next team on the list that should maybe get enough respect, they're number 25 on the list. We found out their stadium is now called L&N Credit Union Stadium, and that is Louisville Cardinals, 5-0.
Show me Friday night. That's really what it comes down to. If they pull it off, they beat Notre Dame, they become a real hot story in the ACC. They get flatlined, we'll know that the first 5 games were fake. I think they're right where they need to be.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, beating Notre Dame pretty much sets up now down to them in Florida State. So, yeah, I think that they have it, but this is their test. Show us.
Well, and also the next couple of weeks, they get Notre Dame this week. They got Duke. They got a trip to Miami.
But see, Duke's not going to be the same Duke team.
Oh, Riley Leonard's dead. You're right.
But, hey.
Yeah, that's going to be a
Elko.
Oh, hey, let's make another poverty hire.
Ask him right after the game. Next team on the list, they are 4-0. Charles Huff's team. Marshall Thundering Herd. They are 20-10 overall under him in his 3rd year.
Yeah, they damn near lost to Old Dominion last week. You think I'm going to sit here and that doesn't make my privates tingle. Old Dominion might be the worst Division I team in the land. Look, Huff's done a nice job, but he took over a stable program that Doc Holliday left him. He's got the win over Notre Dame from last year. But if you want me to start believing in Huff, show me what they do the rest of the way. I can't sit here and act like it's this an injustice that Charles Huff is not talked about more.
Huh? Famous alum from Old Dominion? Not even famous. I'm just
Hold
saying.
on. From Old Dominion?
He's just an alum.
Who?
Former MSU quarterback, Messiah DeWeaver.
That's where he ended up?
Yep.
Talk about a fall from grace.
Isn't JV from Old Dominion too? I think he is.
Yeah, maybe.
He's more famous than Messiah DeWeaver.
Yeah, I think Kenny wins that competition.
Yeah, okay,
well done.
Kenny. You know what? He just wanted it more.
Famous Marshall grads.
Randy Moss.
Chad Pennington.
Yeah, Randy.
Byron Leftwich.
Ahmad Bradshaw.
Ahmad Bradshaw?
Yeah. All right.
This is not a part of the blitz.
Next.
Next team
What
on the
about Matthew
list.
McConaughey's poor accent?
Next.
We are Marshall. Next team on the list, they are 4-1. Their only loss is to Mizzou. It's the Memphis Tigers.
Listen, I watched their game against Boise last week. No. David, they have a great home field advantage somehow. They don't lose in the Liberty Bowl. But what do you want me to say about being talked about? Are they the best group of 5 team? No.
Yeah, I was about to say, this is a team that if you put them in a Power 5 conference, they would lose a lot of games. So, no.
Well, then I'll just throw them in there because you're probably
This is why we're not talking about them.
You're probably going to say the same thing about this team. They shouldn't get talked about. It is the Liberty.
No,
4-0.
That could be, and that's what Jamie Chadwell, the former Coastal Carolina coach, they could be the best non-Power 5.
They get the spot in the
New Year's 6
games. Yeah,
that could be the one.
Now, yeah, that's where they'll get a chance, in the New Year's 6 game to show, hey, we really did belong. We were that good. But that's it.
Next team on the list, they lost their quarterback, though. I don't know if they should really be talked about.
What?
I mean, Texas A&M, they are 4-1.
Okay, they should be talked about, but you got to table it till Saturday night. But there's no fall off from Weigman to Max Johnson. There really isn't. Johnson was always good, highly touted.
I was about to say highly recruited.
The O-line at LSU got him murdered. They've got it together this year. He looks good. I know it's weird because he's left-handed, but look, David, I can't believe I'm going to say this. I think they're going to beat Bama Saturday.
Woo!
I think they're going to beat them.
That's a scorcher, right?
And at 5-1, they should be talked about in a different manner. And boy, howdy, if you like toxicity and spite and venom and grotesque convos, buckle up for Tuscaloosa if they lose that game to A&M Saturday.
Jimbo beating Saban again.
Oh.
And that would pretty much end Alabama season.
It would end all of it. It would be a disaster.
What did you do if you're Bama with 2 losses right now? I don't think they – Kenny, stop.
It would end Nick Saban's career there. I mean, come on. And you would just
hate to see it.
We'll see Kenny in about 4 hours.
I need to get out of this room fast.
Right.
Next team on the list, Rico, you love this team. They are 5-0. They play in the Big Ten.
Oh.
They have a quarterback named Tualia Tagovailoa. They are Maryland. Oh, Jesus. Should they be talked about more?
No. No, they shouldn't, David. They have fed on bad teams. They have. Put it this way. Statistically, they should have lost to MSU. That should tell you everything you need to know about this team. MSU shot themselves in the foot 5 times. They would have beat Maryland. They're 5-0, but they're a fraudulent 5-0. I can say that, Mike.
That's personal growth, my man. I'm proud of you.
Next team on the list, they are number 13 in the AP poll. They have a coach named Jake Dickert. They are the Washington State Cougars at 4-0.
They're good, but I think they're going to take an L this week against UCLA. I mean, look, everything runs through the quarterback, Cameron Ward. Incarnate Word transfer. They've got a really brilliant offensive mind as their OC, a kid named Ben Arbuckle.
But Ward is, he's getting that Heisman talk.
Maybe by crackheads. But the whole point is their defense is ass. It's going to catch up to them. I think they're a nice early story.
And the Pac-12 is about to cannibalize themselves in about 3 weeks.
And a lot of teams are about to dine on the riblets of Washington State here in the next month.
Yeah, the next team on this list, I don't think they should be talked about. I get it, they're 4-0, but they beat Miami of Ohio, Texas A&M, Bethune-Cookman,
Miami,
and Temple, and that's Miami.
Yeah, I just need.
You know what? Yeah.
Now hanging half 100 on A&M, that is
looks
something
more impressive.
That's
now.
not nothing, especially if A&M goes out and beats Bama Saturday. But this is a critical week if you want me to talk about Miami.
Yeah, because other than that, congratulations, you are the
champions of Dade County,
king of the HBCUs.
You're exactly right. And the last team on the list, they will get talked about more after this weekend. They are number 12. It is Oklahoma. They are 5-0.
They're frauds.
There it is, right there, David.
They haven't played anybody.
This game, I know he's thinking it's going to be a runaway game. It just seems like every year this is one of those where one team goes out and you turn it off and you're like, wait, how did you lose? Oklahoma's going to be playing for pride. It's the Red River Shootout.
Okay.
David, horns down.
Okay, so let me give you some actual data. For one, they've played nothing. Second of all, I'll say it again.
Doesn't matter.
All right, you know what? Tell it.
I'm kidding. Go ahead.
No, I mean this is just generally. It's a series. You're right, but this isn't that Texas. This is not the Longhorns of old. Dylan Gabriel, name the last big game he played in. He hasn't. They have no running game. They don't. Now, Andrell Anthony,
right.
the not Nick Anderson,
yeah, but
the other kid they got it wide out.
Big 12 normally doesn't run the ball. I get
That's
what you're
a
saying,
lie.
Mike. I get what you're saying.
You're lying.
No, I'm saying, but it's more of a passing conference.
Kansas State hammers the ball. Texas hammers the football.
I'm talking historically speaking.
Right, but we're not in history. We're in the now.
Mike, calm down. I'm about to give you a compliment.
Okay.
Ever since Quinn Ewers cut the hair and got serious, you know what?
Yes.
He's actually playing like a real quarterback.
Up next, Kenny gets a haircut.
I just don't know.
Serious.
I just don't know if I want to see you that happy. That's
okay.
all.
That's fair. I would also just argue Oklahoma, teams are moving it. Now, they bog you down in the red zone. But when Cincy is going up and down the field and
that was scary
and imploding, SMU did the same thing. Hey, if Oklahoma wins, they're one of the 5 best teams in America. I don't buy it.
It's their only test, really, to beat Texas. They don't have anything left on their schedule.
Yeah, and look, for my purposes, Texas could lose and still win the Big 12 and go to the playoff and the whole bit, but I just don't see it.
They would have to run it back.
Yeah,
correct.
Yep, top 2. There's no division, so top 2 get to play. It's really, thank God the Big Ten's going to it. I can't take any more to Big Ten title game.
You're not a big believer to Big Ten West?
Big Ten West, condom with hole in it.
Just remember, 2 weeks ago, Iowa was the best team.
Yeah. What a blessing. And that is your college football blitz.
David.
All right, distracted driving, an epidemic. Look around. We see it every day. People on their phones, not paying attention to the road. Who's a victim of it? You. Call Mike Prepare National Benefit Plans and get affordable life insurance so you and your family are covered. Mike Prepare National Benefit Plans. He's different than the rest. He'll shop over 70 different life insurance carriers nationwide. Guarantees you the best possible rate. You're not going to deal with a phone jockey 6 states over. You're going to deal with Mike directly. 30 years in the business. National Benefit Plans brings experience when you need to choose the correct life insurance plan. The longer you wait, the possibility of not getting coverage increases. So don't wait. Call Mike now, 877-734-2200. That's 877-734-2200, or go to nbphealth.com.
All right, David, let's get a couple ticket texts before we hand this thing over to Rieger Nowojo.
So regarding the Lions and what you know, I'm going to change the wording on this one a little bit because I understand what he's trying to say. He says, I know that the Lions will be looking for an OC and a DC at the end of the year.
Here's the thing. That's a good problem to have. You want to live the privileged life? Every year, I know they start over in San Francisco. Mike McDonald, like they're all over the place. D'Amico Rice, like
You
everywhere.
lost Robert Saleh.
Right.
Yeah.
So that's good. Now, do you have that replacement guy, that next guy? Is it Randall L? Who is it that's going to run your offense? Who's going to run your defense? Who's going to get this thing and keep it going? You're going to have the pieces. But, yeah, looking at – it's funny because this time last year, if I would have told you that Aaron Glenn was going to be up for a job, would you believe me? Maybe in the CFL, XFL. But, yeah, talk about somebody who turned it all around.
Let me give you one more here. Eric in Ann Arbor. I know when I watch other NFL games, the vast majority of the time I say the Lions are better.
Yeah, and it's strange. If you're a Lions fan, it's a different type of feeling knowing there's only a handful of teams probably not going to win. And probably how the Lions feel like, you know what, we could probably beat Seattle. I'm sure Kansas City's feeling the same way. If we played the Lions again, we would beat the Lions. But yeah, I got the Lions right now, I think is the 6th or 7th best team in the NFL. Depending on, technically, because Seattle has beat them twice at home, back-to-back years, kind of in the same way, you got to just give them the nod and say, okay, in the rankings, you got to get the Seahawks a step above the Lions. Why do you play the game? But yeah, Rieger, I got them as the 7th best team in the NFL right now.
You know, Rico, you said something that was very poetic, very brilliant. And I said it first, I feel, so I 100% agree with you. The Lions have done something that is really impossible to do just in life. They've lived up to the hype. Like, how many things actually live up to the hype? I have a list. LeBron James lived up to the hype. Fair?
Okay, yeah.
The Keurig machine lived up to the hype.
Not a coffee drinker, I'll take your word.
Okay. Like, remember when the Blair Witch Project came out? Everybody's like, oh, this is a real ghost. That didn't live up to the hype. It's impossible to live up to the hype. But the Lions got talked about so much. They were the it team. There was so much optimism. And now they're proving it. And I have a comment for you. Tell me if you agree with this. All right? It's a hefty comment. This Lions football team, I'm convinced of it, is the best team of my life. Tell me I'm wrong. Now, granted.
No, it's the best team right now. Now, no.
I remember the 91 team,
Stop.
93, 95.
Stop. Yeah. The team that beat the Cowboys.
That was a 91, 92.
That was a pretty good team.
That was a good team. They made it to the NFC title game, got smoked by Washington.
Let's do this. We're talking quarter turn.
Yeah.
I don't think this team is going to do it, Rieger, but I've seen this team fall off cliffs as well, where they jump out to this miraculous start, and then that's it. What was it, like 6-0 one year?
Well, 2011. Remember, they were 5-0. Job and Best had that great game, Monday Night Football against the Bears. The place was rocking. And then the next game was Harbaugh-Schwartz, where Harbaugh slapped them on the back, and the Niners beat the Lions. They still made the playoffs. First time since, I want to say, like 99.
Right, I'm just
maybe
saying.
even 98.
Before we get to the best team of your lifetime, let's get to the end of the season.
And
then we can revisit
But
it.
through 4 games, great D-line.
I've seen
great O-line. But here's the thing. Like,
Rieger,
every other time they've started well, I feel you knew what their Achilles heel was.
I've seen them go 4-0 and cut another one bites the dust. So.
Yeah, remember when they went 6-2 against I think Marinelli was the coach. Then they went 2-6.
Yeah, then he went 0-16.
You always take things too far.
No. I'm not. This is not the topic. I'm just telling you. I've never been more confident in a Lions team. And I know it's only 4 games, but the other thing, too, is like they haven't really given you teams to be confident in. So I don't think it's saying much.
It's not. But let's make sure they don't get any injuries, nothing like that, because that could derail the season.
Okay, you say 7th best in the NFL. If you go NFC, they're at least the 4th best. Yeah. Maybe the 3rd best, depending on what you think of Dallas. And Dallas and San Francisco play this weekend.
I didn't even have Dallas in there. So, no.
But then they're 3rd, right?
Well, I had...
you put Philly, you put San Francisco, you put Detroit.
As Seattle.
And then who? Okay, fair. I keep forgetting about them.
Yeah. So I had Seattle. Dallas, come playoff time.
You guys will beat them this weekend, right?
Come playoff time. If they play them in the playoffs, they'll beat them, and Dallas will find a way to do something even more ridiculous on the final play. 2 years ago, hey, let's slide, even though we don't have any timeouts. Last year was, let's put Zeke Elliott at center. That'll work.
But last year they did win a playoff game.
Who?
Dallas.
They did, but
Just saying. Everybody was so excited. But you're right. That play with Zeke Elliott, everybody knew it was going to fail.
You wouldn't even do this on the playground. Zeke Elliott was like, I'm sorry, what? No, hike the ball. Zeke, you're going to hike the ball. Trust me on this. It's going to work.
Yeah, he got smeared. He got killed.
What you got, man?
All right, so we're going to talk about a little bit about what you guys were talking about in the 4 o'clock hour. Your Urban Meyer topic resonated with me. It's been an interesting last
you've been kind of
24
famous.
hours.
You've been famous. I'm reading about you on message boards.
Oh, really? What are they saying?
Why is this troll Rieger doing? It's perspective. People right now are clamoring for anything, any piece of information. And because you put this out there, you're going to come across as an authority figure.
Well, I mean, listen, if you don't look at me as an authority figure, it's about time you start, okay? And we're going to talk about Urban Meyer because something you and Mike said, you're totally right. Like, in my mind, and I know the odds are probably not great, but in my mind, for Michigan State fans, there should only be one candidate.
But see,
it should be him.
Here's the thing about the odds not being great. I don't care.
I agree with you.
Because in college football, Rieger, if you want something, you can have a player, you can have a coach, you can have a team, you can have a conference. A year ago, the Pac-12 was strong.
Right. Now it's down to 2 teams.
100 years later, this is their final year.
You know what's funny? Because Michigan fans are starting to get a little worried. They don't believe it yet. But you hear the morning show today? Stoney and Jansen and Wojo. I mean, they were making fun of Bernie, the guy that gave the report on the podcast.
Geez, the only thing missing was having Cookies and Doug on the morning broadcast. And then it would have been the perfect.
Michigan fans should be worried if you land Urban Meyer.
We'll cross that bridge when we get to it.
All right. Good to see you.
All right. Have fun. You're going to lose your bet. 97-1.